squad, turn that shit up, man.
The offense put up historically low numbers. Second worst offensive production in terms of net yards. I think it was 47 net yards.
Yeah,
thoughts on what you saw?
in the last 29 games, Coach Nagy's offense, when he is calling plays, they're averaging under 18 points a game.
You don't know football if you're sitting out there defending the shoe salesman.
He should be fired tomorrow.
Let everyone know Nagy must go. Let everyone know Nagy must go. Let everyone know Nagy must go.
Yeah, Pace better put a fire to his ass like when Claudio smokes and puts fire to the grass. Lord knows I'm done with this guy. 4 years just to find out he's not that guy. As I fast forward through the post-game presser, I avoid Nagy's speech cause I can't afford depression medication. Know the wise and don't take meditation. I love when the Bears win, but I press pause on celebration. I hope the play card ain't in his hands. The other team can see Nagy calling girls from the stands. And blog boys trying to stick with their narrative flaws. And Nagy trying not to give a play call.
Let everyone know Nagy must go. Let everyone know Nagy must go. Let everyone know Nagy must go.
Matt Nagy's like a virus, relentless infection. Loves to run his plays, gimmicks with no protection.
Excuses always given.
Corp slogan for direction. Dude, not a football coach, more like a politician. No accountability, no plan of attack. Offensive guru, can't beat the pack. Shit's whack, no slack, never bring the Bears back. Coach hack, no hat, stabbing his quarterback. Looking for the wise, but never in the mirror. Now the world is catching up to what we mean. Clearer, the mom and pop shop, never finding the identity. Collaboration station, better off hire Shayne.
Everyone Nagy must go. Let everyone know Nagy must go. Let everyone know Nagy must go.
Fire Nagy now. Fire that fuckhead Nagy.
Fire Nagy. Let everyone know Nagy must go.
Fire.
It's simple football. It's simple. Run the fucking ball. Get under center. You can't run boom. You can't run RPO if you aren't demanding your team to run. You as the coach and you're running fucking shoot arena football league. Fuck. It's an embarrassment. Shoe salesman.
Fire Nagy.
Real quick.
The following show is for mature audiences only. Chi-City Sports.
Watch the tape, and when you see the tape, you know the tape doesn't lie, and the tape doesn't lie.
The thing that I think for myself to understand, and as they go through it, is that we all understand, and I understand that whatever they're calling, how do I make sure that whatever was called correctly, right? Why did that happen? And if there was something that was incorrect, and there's something that they feel like, they missed, or they feel like we could work on, and they're going to help me out and help us out as coaches, so we can teach it properly and they can get better too. And you go through the whys. So I think it's very important for our players and our coaches to know where we stand as a team in understanding the rules of the game and how you play it. And then also too, like, the penalties that go on or don't get called, understanding the why part. So the accountability part, that's bigger than where I'm at right now. And so I can't, there's nothing that's, you know, there's rules set in place for them, for us, for everybody. So I think the biggest thing to understand is our team knowing that, you know, I try to do everything I can for the why part so that it doesn't happen anymore, because we need to be better in that area.
Speak on what you've seen from Justin so far and what you've been impressed with, and maybe what gives you pause.
Yeah, I mean, look, certainly what we've seen the past 2 weeks are the signs that you want to see. And you were saying it before I came on. Ultimately, when you draft a rookie quarterback and you play a rookie quarterback, you want to see him be better by the end of the season than he was when he began. You want to see growth. You want to see development. You want to see him improving. And it's not going to be linear. It's not going to be like, you know, it gets a little bit better each week. There will be ups and downs. There will be peaks and valleys to it. But ultimately, you want that trend line in a positive direction. And I think the last 2 weeks are signs that, things are starting to click for him. When you see some of the things he did, obviously Monday night against the Steelers, where he's making throws in the middle of the field. He's attacking downfield. Average depth of target on Monday night was like 15.7 yards, which was tops in the league.
The throw that the way that they throw, but, you know, he had this a lot in Ohio State, and it looks like he's cleaned that up.
Yeah, he's cleaned that up, Shayne. He's tightened up the upper body mechanics. What I was really impressed about, you know, what the early throw on the boot concept rolling left to Cole Kmet, and then the one to Moody. You know, sometimes when you're an athletic quarterback, you have a good arm. Fields is a very athletic quarterback, has a very good arm. You don't take that extra step of getting the shoulders, the feet, the hips in line to make that throw. And particularly on the boot concept to Cole Kmet rolling to his left, you see him take that extra step to then reset his feet, get the hips, the feet, and the shoulders in line to make that throw. He could have just tried to flip it on the move. Sometimes you see athletic quarterbacks with a good arm do that, and he did it. He took that extra step to get everything right, to set the hallway as we speak, to make that throw. And the result was a perfectly thrown ball, velocity, RPMs on it, into a perfect spot for Kmet to make that catch along the sideline. That's the kind of stuff that sometimes you don't see young quarterbacks do. You know, because they think, look, I'm getting outside the pocket, I'm just going to throw this now. And sometimes, even though you have a good arm, you try to make that throw on the move. The ball is going to hang. The ball is going to sail. The ball might sail out of bounds there. But by taking that extra step, I thought it was a really good job of executing that play. The seam to Jimmy Graham of the left hash mark, that was a quick snap and throw under pressure. You know, and I just got off a radio show in Vancouver. Each week, these guys ask me, you know, what was your throw of the week? That touchdown to Moody and the seam to Graham are my 2 throws of the week from around the NFL. You know, we talked about the reasons why the Moody won, but the seam to Graham, because he had pressure off the left side basically in his face, couldn't fully step into that, but it was just snap and throw. And that windup, not really there. He's really sort of worked the work he's done off season to tighten that up, Shayne. It's been huge because, you know, I get a lot of teams and NFL people in the DMs and the text, like prior to draft, like saying stuff to me. And I never really talk about that because I don't care about that. And, you know, people lie to me all the time. You know, people lie to me. I had people tell me that Zach Wilson was their QB1. Like, I don't believe that stuff.
Not on this network.
I mean, no, I had some teams telling me stuff like that. But I don't really report that stuff out because I don't know who's feeding me lines or whatever, but there were some teams that were really worried about that sort of from a mechanical standpoint. They were saying, we're not sure he can tighten that stuff up. You know, I thought he could. I wasn't too worried about it. I thought he had a good enough arm anyway, where even if that lingered into his rookie year, if he was running the right kind of offense where maybe he's pushing him more downfield and has time to reach stuff out, it wasn't going to be a problem. But to his credit, Fields has certainly done the work to tighten that up, and now you want to see him keep improving that as he goes forward.
0 reps with the ones, you would have told me that I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Because nobody would do that.
Absolutely. And I would have said there'd be no way he'd be playing because did he get hurt? Like, what happened here? I mean, you look at, you can question how Kyle Shanahan's handling Trey Lance, but Lance got reps with the ones. Lance got packages of plays for him. Lance got opportunities. Like, early in the season when Garoppolo was the guy, they still got him into the field. They still got him live game reps. And You know, I used to be one of those people that thought you can learn by watching, but the more I've sort of studied quarterback play, the more I've sort of studied how we're transitioning young quarterbacks into the league, you got to do it. You got to get on the field and do it because, yeah, you can read out a defense from the sideline, but until you're doing it under center or in the gun, or until you're doing it with guys coming at you, until you're doing it when you have to do it on the fly and make a read and a throw with Aaron Donald breathing down your neck, it's not going to click in. There's so much muscle memory that you have to learn, play in the position. I mean, Emory Hunt, I love Emory. And, you know, when this discussion sort of came up, it was a year or two ago about, you know, do quarterbacks have to sit and learn or can they play right away? And he said, well, if you're going in for heart surgery, do you want the heart surgeon that's done it or the guy that's just watched them a bunch of times?
Right.
Yeah. And I know that playing quarterback and heart surgery are two different things, but Emory makes a pretty darn good point there in my mind.
What I wanted to talk about, Mark, obviously still in this vein, is when Mitch was here, you could see the flaws, and it wasn't just on the field. It was this shit all matters. Even listening to this, the quarterback, your QB1, the future of your franchise, is the leader of the franchise. He's going to have to carry himself a certain way, even in a press conference. And that little things like that is where you could just see where sometimes it seemed a little bit too big with Mitch. It just, you know, shut the TVs off in Hallis Hall and that whole nonsense. But with where I've been most impressed with Justin Fields, and I guess I shouldn't say that I'm impressed because it doesn't surprise me. He's like that. You always hear him say he's built for this, but Monday Night Football, that's a pretty big fucking stage.
Yep.
And he was flatlined. It was like he was a 10-year vet out there. I mean, he never got too high. It seemed like he was pretty much always under control. He wasn't, you know, going crazy on the sidelines. And it's just, to me, it speaks to that kid, even the way that he handles himself after the games in these press conferences and everything that was going on with, you know, Andy Dalton and not getting the reps and Matt Nagy. But how much does that factor into you? Everything kind of like off of the field, but like dealing with the press, because I still maintain, if I'm the Jets, and Justin Fields to me was the perfect guy to go there to handle the city, to handle that media. But do you buy into that? Fairly Samoa has brought up multiple times that he needs to play the run more aggressively. Are the Bears?
Shayne just freeze on us?
Yeah.
Let's talk about
it. Shit. It's the Claudio Jackle show.
Perfect.
Uh-oh.
The train has not gone off the tracks yet. There he is.
Oh, no. There he goes.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
I was trading up.
100.
Yes! What? Here it is! Just recorded.
There's no competition.
Keeping it 100.
The people drop off, but we still keep rocking.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition. Keeping it 100. The smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. The dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now they're moused up like the true and now and laters. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber monitor. moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack strolling like a fool, drunk texting, flexing on the truth, cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the players. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the armchair. The tape never lies, the truth, you see. We laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Max Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun day. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby. Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it 100. Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it 100. Keeping it 100, baby.
Draft Dr.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Shayne, Money Man Marsaw, and the guard. Draft
Yo, TTNL family, how are we doing this wonderful Wednesday evening? 8:30. We're the walking wounded here at TTNL family. It's like a freaking infirmary over here. We got Phil back. We're missing Shayne. We're getting cars back. We got Olin coming on tonight. Fire Nagy was a great way to start the show. I can't fucking believe it. I love that fucking song. Caden's in the back with like 104 fucking fever, and he's here. Manning up, stepping up. Cherie's here. The gang is here looking to get it going. Let's bring Phil on. Let's start the show. Enough of my dumb ass. Here we go.
Here we are back in the house. His house. How we doing this?
His
time?
house?
You're right, though. It's unfortunate. We keep getting these injuries on this football team or illnesses. First, let's just, bow our heads down. I mean, the world is a crazy place. Let's just be honest. I mean, I thought it was crazy enough prior to COVID that the Bears kept Nagy. I thought that was crazy. But then COVID happened, collaboration happened, and then all of these, our family members are dealing with stuff, and it's unfortunate. But we, as they say, the show must go on. Tonight, we are going to have Olin Kreutz on the show with us. I'm excited about that. Obviously, a lot to get into with one of the most respected guys. In fact, I am the first guy, and I'll say it in the interview, that brought up the idea of him as president and of the Bears organization. I got a little pushback from Kaplan and a few other people because he has no experience. But this, we don't ask whys. Like, why can't he? That's the why. Why? And we'll get into that with him when he comes on. But I'm tired of people stealing from TTNL. I'm tired of all the BS. As I took a break, and I want to thank everybody who reached out, sent some positivity my way. I'll give you a quick update. It turned out it was like a serious stomach bug that is like going around this country, apparently, that I got, and it
added to the list, right?
It just adds to the list. It comes across like it's a heartburn, burning your. It was most uncomfortable I've been in a long time, and I've had kidney stones in my life. That was the worst. This wasn't as bad as that, but there was just never a release of comfort. So it was just knocked you out. So anyway, just wanted to thank all of you 100 crew, you TTNL people. When we say it, we really do mean it. I make it a priority that I go out of my way to thank people and respond to everybody. So I can't thank you guys enough. Obviously, I just, I think it's important that everybody understand the truths that are out there. There's a lot of I'm not politics guy, as you could see, performance over politics. So I ain't going to go into that, but I am going to say it's time for people to start believing in themselves. Fuck the news. Trust your gut. Trust your gut in what's wrong, what's right. It's as simple as that. You know what's wrong and what's right. Everybody here knows what the Bears should be doing. In fact, this network has exposed the Chicago Bears, and they've tried to shut us down. I don't look at imitation as flattery. I look at it as stealing from me. That's how I've always looked at it. It's like I'm a guy that makes sure I give credit all the time. I make sure I do that. That's what I do. Even if it's a fan, because I don't know who James Sweeney is. Right here, put him up. James. I don't know who James Sweeney is, because James Sweeney just has a J and a green, background, or is it aqua? Whatever. But I can't say James don't know shit about football. No, I'll never say that. James might be an executive for the Raiders looking to hire me as their next head coach. I don't know. You follow what I'm saying? So you don't look at people like that. You don't do people dirty like that. And I think a lot of these media members do that. I think the Chicago Bears organization does that. And I think the NFL is probably like, I grew up loving the NFL, Chris.
Yeah.
This past week being sick, obviously that fucking Monday night game had me sick to my stomach, because I knew the officials played an instrumental part of them losing. Then breaking down the film for whatever 9,000 views that you've seen of me showing you the tape, but also the questionable calls. And I didn't go into a whole synopsis of questionable calls, because that's a whole entire show. That would be a 50, 80-minute movie. And that's how unfortunate it is. And then you fast forward to this weekend and you see Green Bay, the darlings. The guy doesn't get fined. The fucking guy that didn't tuck in his shirt gets a bigger fine than the guy hosing and lying. You know what I'm saying? And then on Pete Carroll, as I put up, Pete Carroll has the presence of mind to confront the officials because his team is getting hosed. But our head coach is happy-go-lucky. He's the fucking parent that turns a blind eye to the kid that's getting bullied.
Yeah.
He's the motherfucker that pulls out his phone and films the bullying. I don't get down with those peeps.
No.
Step in and do something about it. Your team needed to go into this locker room knowing their coach had their back.
Yeah.
And as I said to Chris Zorich on Monday night, I said, Chris, I don't agree with you. You're $1 million man. Matt Nagy's made more money than everybody combined in the chat, probably. I think that would be a safe bet.
Never know.
Right, I'd never know.
Like you said.
Larison might be in there, so scratch it. But I'm just saying, he has enough money to stand up for the truth. That would be a great thing for me, to see the Chicago Bears head coach. There's no coincidence in this. There's none. Mike Ditka would have lost his mind. There's no coincidence. That's the last time the Chicago Bears have won the Super Bowl. And I'll tell you why. As much as football, it's football. It's always changed. It never changes. We're going to run counter Trey. We're going to run it. We could run it from the shotgun, or we could run it for the eye. We can run it offset. We're still going to run that stuff. And counters, read option. I've showed you bubble screens in 1942. I'll show you it again if you're a patron. 1942, Sid Luckman running a bubble fucking screen. The head coach has to let these officials know that he's not going to tolerate this fucking bullshit that's going down. Our coach doubles down on stupidity, doubles down on it. And it's unfortunate. Again, today, as I put it up there, watch this clip. I mean, yesterday. This is yesterday, Coach Nagy.
But for the most part, I really have thought that, you know, for most of the season, we've done a good job at being able to stop the run until a few outlier games. And that's where we got to like reel it in and say, okay, hey guys, why?
Hey guys, why?
Why?
For the most part, if you outline, this is a politician. Now, I did some research while I was sick. I wanted to know, has there ever been a head coach hired with in the NFL with no head coaching experience on any level in his past? And I found out Zach Taylor, Freddie Kitchens, Matt LaFleur, Brandon Staley.
Yeah, Staley.
All of them have been hired with no head coaching experience on any level, not high school, not college, not wherever. Pop Warner, none. So I guess the NFL wants to be trend setting instead of recognizing the value of a leader isn't in how good they call plays.
No.
I'm watching the broadcast the other day. Oh, this guy's a good play caller. When's he going to get a job? This is the problem with the NFL. This is the problem with the Chicago Bears.
It's the shiny new toy, man.
Yeah. Matt Nagy never was a good play caller. We never, ever saw that. And he's never been head coach. That's the difference between Zach Taylor, Fred Kitchens, Matt LaFleur. These guys have been good play callers. So at least they got something under their belt. Matt Nagy was a friend, and you hear him in the presser today. I don't know if you have that, Jackle, about
I got some stuff going to kid.
You're 0-3 coming out of the bye. You're 0-3. You're about to be 0-4, maybe. We'll see.
And he even talks about last year how they won, they lost 3, had a bye, and then lost 3 more. And it's like this year's the same. That he almost drew like a parallel, and I was surprised that he went there in that press conference.
Well, he was drumming up Andy Reid and saying,
"Yeah,
well, I came from a guy who did it really well." You're not him.
Nope.
You're not him. Cultures don't just transfer over. It's like, how many of Belichick's disciples have been going on to be head coaches? That shit just doesn't happen. You Chicago Bears, Ernie Accorsi shouldn't be in your fucking building deciding who the GM is and who the head coach is. You should be doing it. Tonight, I'm going to prove why. This is the guy that should be sitting in the interview, maybe with some of his teammates that understand, okay, what do you see as the big weaknesses in the Chicago Bears? What do you see personnel? What do you see culturally? That's where you do the interview. That's where you hire the best head coaches. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to run a combination of the spread game with the West Coast. That ain't good. Everybody's doing that.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. Doesn't mean you should do it. Ernie, fucking Tony Vegas, Carenti. I gotta just finish my diatribe on this guy. Yeah. What happened Monday night? I know we haven't played a game yet, so it's relevant. Was a sham, a travesty. This isn't let's blame the officials, Phil. I'm hard on the officials every week. If you follow me on Facebook, you know. But I'll put my record up against anyone. I'm always fucking right. Always. I'm never wrong about the call. Show me where I'm wrong. I would say, oh, okay. After that replay, I see about 4 times in my life. 4. So if I can officiate these fucking games, then you need to do it. Technology, bring it into it so you can assess it. Because what is going down in this world with the officials and with the favorites that are being chosen is a disgrace. It's a disgrace. You could see the difference in officiating when it comes to the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. It's not an excuse. It's not a written in endorsement. Let's make up excuses. This is a reality of football. There's nowhere to hide with $1 billion business with fucking 28 cameras in HD. This is a disgrace by the NFL, Roger Goodell and company fining this kid, Marsh, on top of it. When a kid is lying about a COVID test, and because his reputation and his talent supersede what you want, and State Farm is a big sponsor and so on, money's ruling shit, not football. That's when you become a fraudulent organization or fraudulent league. And it's unfortunate because, as I said, I grew up with 2 uncles coaching in the NFL. I lived for the NFL on Sundays. I ran around my living room throwing the ball up just like my son does today, pretending. It should never come down to the officials. 1 call, 2 calls you can get angry at. We all do. But 9 calls, it's an issue. It's an issue. What isn't an issue is our guy coming on tonight. Again, as I said at the top of the show, I am the first one. I'm just taking ownership of all my shit because everyone steals it now. To endorse this guy to take over as president of this Chicago Bears. Now, will he do it? I don't know. There's got to be stipulations for him to do it. But me and Olin don't agree on everything. But that's the best thing. That's debate. That's football. But I know I can say this I'll put my name to it, that I believe he will hire the right person to find the right talent and be completely, utterly involved in finding the leader of men on this football team. And that's the head coach. He'll get it right the first time. I guarantee. And if the McCaskies are so afraid of that's why you're a mom and pop shop continuously looking up at Green Bay. You want to look down? It's simple. Get the right people in there. Let's bring out the right person.
Hell yeah.
Future Hall of Famer, number 57.
Yes, sir.
In your program, number 1 in your heart. Oh, there he is.
What's up, guys? How's it going, man?
All right. How are you, bro?
I'm good. Thanks for the introduction. I heard you're talking about it, and you're exactly right. You want to be able to disagree. When you come to football, you leave your feelings at home, right? Leave your feelings at home. Let's just get shit fixed.
That's it. That's all. That's why I know you're the right guy for the job. Now, if the Chicago Bears, they talk to me and they say, Phil, and I say, this is my endorsement, and I give them 15 minutes of why, just like my mini rant said, would you take that job? Would you take the job of president and CEO of the Chicago Bears from the football side? You're not doing business, because people have gotten it twisted with me. Oh, he's not ready. He's never done. I'm not asking him to figure out the price of the tickets. He'll hire someone to do that shit. So football side, president, CEO, would you do it?
Right. You do the things you know, right? You do the things that you're an expert at, and you hire guys who are experts to do the other side of the job. Look, I'm a football fanatic, kind of like you are. If someone asked me to run the Chicago Bears, I'd be crazy to say no. So, of course, you would do it, right? You'd walk in that building and you'd apply your expertise to whatever they're doing there. So it would be, obviously, it's far-fetched, but I think it would be amazing to run the Chicago Bears organization and help them turn that thing around.
It's not far-fetched, Olin. The only reason why it's look at John Lynch. Look at him getting hired. There's many a story of former football players getting hired and put in positions. I know this is my endorsement of you tonight, and it'll be stolen and written about, but the reality is I feel like you understand the root of the issues of the Chicago Bears. The root, the tree has grown. Everybody loves the Bears. Worldwide, Bears. Everyone knows. Dub Bears, Saturday Night Live, Walter Payton, Super Bowl Shuffle, Olin, Brian Urlacher, Devin Hess. They know it, right? The Bears don't know it. That's the problem, right?
Doesn't seem like it, right? It doesn't seem like it when they hire people. It doesn't seem like they know who they need in that building, leading people. When they fire people, when they fire coaches and get football guys out of the building, and the guys they bring in, like when we look at their offensive staff now, why would you arrange your staff like that? Why wouldn't you go get a Kyle Shanahan, a McVay, a Disciple? Why wouldn't you, if you're going to run the outside zone boot scheme, or at least have somebody in the building who runs that, what everybody is doing, right? Kubiak was in Minnesota. His son now is office coordinator in Minnesota. I'm sure you could have had him on your staff as OC under Nagy if you wanted him. So they just haven't done that over these years. But like you're talking about, the things that seem obvious, the things that seem like they're common sense, they always seem to go against the grain. And to be honest with you, you're hoping they're right sometimes, right? You're hoping you're wrong. When you watch them from the outside in the offseason, you're like, man, maybe they know something I don't know, because this doesn't look like it's going to work. But then you get here, you're 3-6, and we're another 4-game losing streak, and you're thinking to yourself, man, I mean, what made them think that the decisions they made going through the season, that they had enough offensive firepower, that they weren't going to be last in the league in offense, that they weren't going to be under 17 points a game again? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you look at what we did in the offseason, we did this podcast, we were saying those things. That this doesn't look like it makes sense to us. That the people in the building, like the Kyle Shanahan, like the San Francisco 49ers game, they asked me on air, who did I think I was going to win in the pregame show on the score? And I said, I picked the 49ers for one reason, that the coaching staff was going to get out coached. When you look down the line at the coaching roster, that was their biggest advantage, right? So all I'm saying is you hope that they're right. You hope that Nagy, the guy Laser, DiFilippo, and Juan Castillo, that they're going to turn it around. But we end up here halfway through the season more times than not.
This is a team that spent an offseason trying out kickers and preaching that they were a kicker away from the Super Bowl, turn around, have the most disappointing season letdown. I think I can't remember any other season with so much hype and then so much disappointment. I felt like that was the curtain behind it. Now they got a kicker and they have 8 quarterback coaches.
Right.
Talk about that.
Well, and I'm sure you guys have talked about on this show, but to duplicate what you did in 2018, if you were in the building and say, okay, guys, let's talk about this. Let's talk about we don't get 36 to 38 takeaways again. Let's talk about if we're not the healthiest team in the league again. Someone needs to throw that out there, right? Kind of like someone needs to throw out, if we boot to TJ Watt, it's probably going to be a sack. Someone needs to throw these things out there. It just seems like they're missing these obvious points too often. Okay, if we don't get 38 takeaways, if we're not the healthiest team in the league, what kind of team are we? And if I'm sitting there, Phil, and you're sitting there, we say, well, you're a 500 team. If you don't get the takeaways, you're a 500 team, because since week 14 in 2018, you haven't been able to score any points at all, right? You haven't been able to put up enough points to win and beat teams. Mr. Trubisky progressively keeps getting worse. Now he's in Buffalo, and he's a backup, and we got this new Justin Fields here. But no matter who's there, no matter how many big plays Justin Fields makes, you're still scoring 20 or below points a game. You know, if you don't get that punt fumble for a touchdown, you're at 20. You're not at 27. So all I'm saying is they just don't seem to realize what's actually wrong. Coach Nagy was brought here to bring his scheme. His scheme hasn't worked. So what do you do now?
Speaking of scheme, have you ever witnessed in your career, your illustrious, which I believe, Hall of Fame career? I'm not blowing smoke. I want to go back in time to that time, but I want to ask you, have you ever heard or witnessed a coach who was hired with no head coaching experience, a completely hidden play caller, if you will, if you don't understand what I'm saying, and has given up play calling twice? Have you ever witnessed that?
No, you haven't. And you just haven't witnessed a guy who, you know, maybe Brian Billick for the Ravens, who was an offensive genius and then went and became basically a coach of a defensive team, right? But
yes,
you just haven't really witnessed the fact that in the offseason they're going to bring in all this wide receiver speed, and then you don't see any big plays, right? They're going to keep Jimmy Graham to use him one-on-one in the red zone, and you don't see him all year long. And all of a sudden now, again, you're this power running team with Montgomery, and you just keep thinking to yourself, okay, if they're going to run this power run system or outside zone system and boot and nakeds, like they used to call it, just getting the quarterback out of the pocket, obviously faking the same run play, making everything look the same. If you're going to do that, do you have the answers to all the questions then? Do you have the halftime adjustments? Because if that's not your scheme, you don't, right? Kyle Shanahan, when he goes in the locker room and say, look, so-and-so is running this defense versus us. Here's what we have to do to beat it. You see more times than not when you watch Chicago Bears play teams, when a team makes adjustments, they don't have the adjustments for it because Coach Nagy's adjustment is all the Kansas City Chiefs scheme, and that's why you see it's always empty. It's always empty. It's always pass concepts. It's throw the short routes, try to get to Tyreek Hill, try to get to Kelsey, and have them break tackles and go to the house. We don't have those guys. So now we're running this scheme. They signed Laser. They signed DeFilippo. These guys all ran the same schemes where they were. And when Laser coached in Miami, they fired him because he wouldn't run the ball. When DeFilippo coached in Minnesota, they fired him because he wouldn't run the ball. So those are the guys we put in the building, and we asked them to run the ball and run Kyle Shanahan, McVay's scheme. And you're wondering why it doesn't work. Well, you're shocked by it. I'm shocked. You're shocked.
Yeah, I'm very shocked when you look at this, coach, and you see his philosophy, and you're pointing out, and I want you to just be clear, you're saying you feel as though they're having to change their whole philosophy of what Matt wants to do to what they do well. Am I right?
Yeah, it's like religion, right? Like all of a sudden a Catholic's going to be a Muslim and go teach it. Well, you can't. You've been a Catholic your whole life. These coaches, like, Phil, your dad's a coach. Their scheme, their technique, that's their religion, man. It's hard to get them off of it. That's what they believe in. It's what they taught their whole life. It's what they've learned. So eventually you go back to it. I do it. I'm a football guy. I know what I believe in. I go back to what I believe in when I teach technique to people. Obviously, you try to adjust some, but Coach Nagy's background is in the Andy Reid scheme. So when he has to make adjustments to defenses, that's why the frustration comes. Last against the Steelers, all of a sudden you're like, man, you're gonna run your first boot with 9 minutes left in the second quarter, and then you get a 26-yard gain. I mean, Fields, I don't know, when he rolls to his left, I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback throw it to his left that well and flip his shoulders on the run. I mean, he throws dimes, man. But what I'm saying is, why wouldn't you do that earlier? Why is that the first time? And the next time you run it, you're going to go 3 wides and leave T.J. Watt unblocked. It just seems to me like you don't understand what you're doing.
Well, I don't know if you heard, and you probably did, and maybe you addressed this, but I was under the weather, so I didn't hear your show this week. But to double down on that play that you're talking about, and if you're listening on the podcast, Olin's talking about first they go boot. Justin rolls to his left, obviously hits Cole Kmet on a dime, squaring his shoulders. It's an unbelievable throw and showcase of what this kid could do. 2 plays later, I can't remember, I think it was 2 plays later, they run naked to the backside, and Maggie says, I'm on the sideline and I see JJ or TJ Watt there, and it ain't going to work. This dude doesn't call timeout? Did you hear this?
No, I didn't hear that. I'd be surprised if he said it that way, because that's where TJ Watt lines up, right? That's where he lines up over the right tackle. That's where he's. So I hope he didn't say that.
I'm paraphrasing the quote.
Okay,
I'm telling you, Olin. I'm telling you. He goes, I see TJ there, and I'm like, oh my God, call timeout.
Right,
Call timeout.
Or if you're worried about that, especially on that part of the field, package 2 plays together. Give your quarterback an out, right? Get him out of that play. Tell him he can check to the run if T.J. Watt is lined up there, because you have to account for T.J. Watt, especially when it's Borum at right tackle. When it's Fields, Borum played well, but you don't know how Borum's going to perform on the road at Heinz Field against T.J. Watt. So what I mean by that is this. A veteran tackle knows how to really sell T.J. Watt, and this might be the run. Borum, I'm sure Watt got an immediate feeling. This is pass. Right? I got an immediate feeling here. This is going to be pass. I'm going to run right at the quarterback. So if you did, that TJ Watt lines up over the right tackle. So if Nagy's shocked he's there, then I want to have an Egg McMuffin with him and talk to him about that, because I'm shocked you're shocked he's lining up there. But you should have him out of that play in case he is there then.
I'm going to find the audio and text it to you so you can.
Okay.
Because I am paraphrasing but it is I think it's Tuesday after the game that he says that the next morning. It is a showcase of just how. Are you done with the Nagy experience? Do you feel like this guy's done in Chicago end of season?
I don't know. I don't know because, Phil, I worked in that building for a long time. I know how hard these guys work. So I just don't know how much longer they can go in that building. And I don't know. For me, like you said, okay, we'll make you head of football operations. I have to ask him a ton of questions after games like that. Like, why are we running boot? You have to give me a reason why. And it has to make sense to me, right? I have to be able to talk to you and say, okay, man, like, I wouldn't have not waited 9 minutes in the second quarter to run boot. I wouldn't have ran naked to TJ Watt. I wouldn't have ran that scheme you ran in Cleveland. I wouldn't have left Justin Fields out there and my offensive line with no help just so we could get railroaded the whole day. One of the worst performances anybody's ever seen. But there is a fact that Justin Fields seems to be improving, that he does look good sometimes out there. And the second half of that Steelers game was exciting to watch him. I don't know what you felt, but I felt like when he walked on that field, I watched him, Montgomery, and Mooney walk to that huddle. And I thought to myself, man, I like that. I like the attitude, the way they were walking on that field. They walked on the field. It's not easy to do. They walked on Heinz Field like they owned that place. You know what I mean? Like, they were going to put the ball in the end zone, and the Steelers couldn't do anything about that. So I have to weigh that into to my Nagy experience. But he's going to have to tell me how he's going to keep us out of this situations we keep getting into with him. Right.
Exactly.
And I need to see more leadership from him. I need to see the defense play better. Sean Desai, I don't know if that was the right hire now when I watched him play.
Agree.
I don't know, man. I was worried about that going into the season because, again, he's young, and I don't mind that, but I don't know how big of a voice Pettin has in that building. But also he's surrounded by a lot of young coaches with a lot of experience in the NFL, which to me is not smart when you have a young DC. Right?
Do you think he did that purposefully? Because let's be honest, I want you to keep it 100. It's no coincidence he's fired 2 offensive line coaches. And when you're a head coach, and I know this, number one hire that I'm going to hire, that whoever's the head coach should be the offensive line coach. That's the number before the defensive coordinator. My O-line coach is my number one hire after the head coach.
Yeah, and so to Nagy's credit, he went out and got what a lot of people consider was the best offensive line coach in the NFL, in college. My opinion, I think he's the best, period. But some people would have other thoughts on that. But to fire him after 2 years, give the reasons you gave. And I remember Ryan Pace sitting on the press conference, and he said that someone asked him about the offensive line. He said that was a problem and that was real, which is fine. But what's real is you didn't put any resources into your offensive line. You never really try to run the ball. That's what was real there. But that's what I'm saying, right, Phil, about there needs to be someone there who can actually ask the hard questions.
That's you.
Do
you think anybody's doing
it? So I would sit there and say, Ryan and Matt, you're telling me we're going to be better without Harry Hiestand. Like 2 40-year-olds, right, don't know. Right. They haven't even coached half the amount of time that Harry Hiestand has coached in the NFL, right? They don't know anything about coaching offensive line. They don't know anything about developing offensive linemen. They don't know anything about the running game. That's obvious. Nagy's most important coach, like you just said, because he's a quarterback guy who likes to throw the ball, is his offensive line coach and his run game coordinator. And to me, you don't get better by firing guys like Harry Hiestand. And then, like you said, to hire Sean Desai is fine, but then you got to surround him with really strong coaches, like to let Jay Rodgers, to let him go to San Diego. That's not something I would have done. I would have kept Jay Rodgers in the building as my defensive line coach. I think I watch Bilal Nichols right now. I think he's taking a step back. We haven't got much out of Eddie Goldman. So I think that defensive side is taking a little bit of a step back this year. Mario Edwards doesn't look as dominant as he looked last year. I thought Jay Rodgers always did a nice job. But I'm just saying promote the guy, give him a little more money, keep him in your building. He does a nice job. I don't want to lose too many guys like that. Brandon Staley, we already let him go. There's too many guys that have walked out of my building now that you have to answer for.
Stay on the offensive line. I know everybody is waiting for this, because you're close with Mustafa. And I'm a very big Mustafa critic. And I know you take a lot of shit with people, but I'm honest with Mustafa. But I believe this last game was his best game. So in your assessment, we're not going to debate. I have too much respect for Olin Kreutz to come on here and we're going to play this fucking Zimmerman game with you, whatever the fuck this dude's name was. And I'll never talk shit about Olin, but Sam to me at point of attack strength is not Olin Kreutz. And what they're asking him to do in this scheme, which they changed, is hard for him. So where do you see his improvement right now, and or what does he need to improve on?
Well, like you said, though, right? Like his improvement came now. You're talking about an undrafted free agent, right? The guy who worked his way to the starting lineup. A lot of it because, like we know, Cody Whitehair and James Daniels struggle processing information at the pivot, which is a very important thing to do with a rookie quarterback. To point out the mic, to arrange the offensive line, to get everybody moving in the right direction, which is Sam's strength. So if you watch the TV copy of the Tampa Bay game, you'll hear him making calls. The reason they ran the ball so good against Tampa Bay Buccaneers is because he's calling full zone. He's recognizing the blitz. He's putting everybody on the right guys, and they're all moving in the right direction. This is what he's good at. He has to, and like you said, this game, he improved a lot on his point of attack. But I will argue with people with this. When they tell me, we need somebody better than Sam Mustafa, I say, how many centers have you watched in the NFL? Because I watch them all, right? Brad Berry's the number one pick from Minnesota. He gets manhandled every game. We watch Kendrick Green from Illinois, University of Illinois. We watch Eddie Goldman manhandle him at the point all game against the Steelers, right? So Steelers and the Bears. So all I'm saying is,
that was Eddie Goldman's
when people say we need a massive upgrade at center, okay, give me names. Give me who you think is better than Sam Mustafa. How many guys in the NFL are better than him? Because a lot of people will just say that. Oh, he's not good at the point of attack. Well, show me the block you're talking about. Show me a guy executing it. Because there's like 2 or 3 guys in the whole NFL who make that block against nose guards, Eddie Goldman's caliber, big 335-pound guys. So he is a young center who is slowly improving. If you're with the problems on offense is they can't put the ball in the end zone. If you're worried about Sam Mustafa, man, you're not watching the whole NFL. You're not really watching the game.
Can you, as a coach, you can improve Sam Mustafa with technique and help. But here's my thing to you. You and I both know James Daniels is the best offensive lineman on this football team. You also are on this show, and I never forget it because I love James Daniels. I called the pick coming out of Iowa. So
freak show. James is a freak show.
This guy at center to me becomes the next Olin Kreutz, and that's James Daniels. That's
I agree with you there, right? With James, because I was extremely high on James when I watched him at center. I remember his first game he started at center. He went against Kenny Clark, Green Bay of 2019.
Oh my God, you're right.
You don't make blocks like that, okay? So his one-on-one center blocking, even now, right, with his arms, the way he's built, he's got you can run a movie on the back of his behind, right? This guy's built to play offensive line, man. But from what I understand, from when they moved him, and I don't know, I can't speak to this. He struggles with calling fronts.
Well,
right?
Why,
he struggles
Olin?
With calling blitzes. So
why don't they call you up and say, Olin, we need someone to they're not teaching this? How hard is it to call out the fucking mic?
Right? So here's the thing. It's like they teach it to everybody. It's like playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Jay Cutler and these guys, they stay on the board and they can draw on a grease board for hours, the offense for you.
Yes.
But to live in the matrix and see this thing in a 15-second window you got, that's a talent. That's just something that a lot of people can't do. So I'm sure they can teach it to you, right? They can tell you, look, I'm going to draw X's and O's here. One thing I'll tell you about the NFL, one day stay on the field, watch that thing from behind, how fast that thing is moving. It is moving at a warp speed. There's not a lot of guys who can process information at the point, at the pivot. And I'll tell you right now that That is what Sam Mustipher does well. Are there things that an undrafted free agent center from Notre Dame has to work on in his third or fourth year? Yes, there are. But I will argue this, that he's in the top 10 to 15 centers in the whole NFL. And if people say we need a massive upgrade at center on offense, that's fine. You need a massive upgrade at a lot of spots on your offense. So you better pick and choose, right? You better pick and choose where you're going with it. You don't have playmakers. The last time I seen a receiver take a ball, catch it, break 2 or 3 tackles, go to the house, was when Tariq Cohen did it against the Jets. He went 70 yards on a screen. Since then, I have not seen it. I have not seen a guy make a play like that. I have not seen a guy run by people, catch a 60, 70-yard pass. This offense has huge problems. If you take a guy out of the center position who can direct everything for a young quarterback, I think you're making the offense worse. Now, look, I will not lie to anybody, and you know this. I tell the truth. I do train Sam Mustipher. I've trained him since college. Big fan of his. But I will say this to anybody. You put your best 5 on the field, period. Whoever you think your best 5 are, you put them on the field. If you have a better 5 than they have now, they should be playing. I think that they're playing their best 5. I think they know things about their unit that no one else knows.
Well, I don't get down with let's champion a guy because he's undrafted. That's the only thing I disagree with. Everybody, there's
okay.
Hall
So
of
you're
Famers.
saying that Sam needs to improve. Well, give me an example of a guy you think he should be like. Who do you want at center at the center position for the Chicago Bears?
I want Olin Kreutz at center.
Okay, but give me another center in the NFL right now, current center in his prime.
In his prime? Well, in his prime. I love the center from the Green Bay Packers. This kid's an Ivy
He's
League
been
kid.
in and out all year. You're talking about the rookie, right?
Yeah,
He's
but he's getting it done.
year, right?
Then
From
you look
Ohio
at
State.
Jensen. Yeah, there
Okay,
you
but
go.
I'm gonna
And
tell you
Lindsey.
right now, when you're snapping Aaron Rodgers, the game's a lot easier. As you know, the box is light.
Yes,
You don't
that's
have
also
a
true.
heavy box. You don't
But
have a heavy box.
Here's my thing, and James Daniels would be my guy. If I'm the coach, James Daniels is gonna learn how to freaking call.
So when the blitz is hitting Fields in the head, though,
It already
because
is.
he's not directing traffic.
It
right?
already is.
No, but when the blitz is hitting him over and over in the head, what are we
Yeah.
gonna do then?
We're going to make sure we get it right. And I don't think they do reps. This is a coach that admitted he didn't give this kid, Justin Fields, reps. Can you imagine?
In camp.
In
okay,
camp,
so you've given me you didn't give me a name of the Packer center at all, and then you gave me
I
Ryan
can't remember
Jensen's
his name.
Ryan Jensen now. Ryan Jensen.
Lindsey, is that his name?
No, Lindsley is playing for the Chargers now.
Lindsey.
He does a decent job over there too.
I
So
like
that's what
that
I'm saying,
dude.
though. What I'm
I
saying
like
is most
that
of you guys say these things, but you can't give me an example of somebody who's a massive upgrade over Sam Mustipher. So all I'm saying is before you say these things, make sure you watch the center position. Make sure you watch how other guys execute for other teams. You just saw the Steelers' young center who everybody's raving about. You saw Eddie Goldman murder him on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
That's the point of attack now.
Yes.
People are raving about this kid.
Well,
I
Eddie
watched
Goldman, I
Bradbury
think,
for
is the
Minnesota.
top.
He gets. All I'm saying is, look, I don't mind having this argument. I watch a lot of center play. I do.
Yes.
I watch a ton of it. I train centers. I watch centers. I can give you names if I say these things. I can give you who is a massive upgrade over people. There's 32 of these jobs in the world. There's not 32 good centers.
I totally agree on that. 100%. I look at.
I know what people say. We want Olin Kreutz. Well, look, I don't want to. I try to stay as humble as possible. I'm an all-decade center, right?
Well,
they don't come along. There's only 2 in a decade, right? There's only
You're
2
my
guys
Hall
who
of
make all
Famer.
decade.
You're
There's
my
only
Hall
2
of
guys,
Famer.
so they don't come along all the time. You're trying to build a team here, trying to build an offense here, and look, if you find yourself a first-round talent at center, by all means, take him. By all means, take the guy and try to upgrade your offensive line. By all means.
I will go. I'm on the record. This is Sam Mustipher's best game against the
I agree
Steelers.
with you.
No doubt in my mind. Watching the tape, I'm focused on Sam Mustipher and this offensive line. That's what I'm. That's
they
what
got
I'm
to
focused.
they got to get Larry Borum. They got to keep developing him. I think he's looked good. I don't know what you thought about him. I thought he looked good at right tackle.
I did
I
too.
think his problem is getting nicked up. His problem are injuries. His problem is, he had a concussion once already, and then he had an ankle. So I got to see him. Like Phil, I'm going to be watching him to be honest, 6-7 weeks from now? What level is he playing at? Is he staying in shape? Is he staying in the weight room? Is he staying mobile? Is he staying fast? Is he staying strong? Is he staying mean? Because it's easy. I don't want to say it's easy, but it's easy to come in late in the year, middle of the year, be fresh and play good football, right? You got to be playing football 5, 6, 7. Then Tevin Jenkins, right? These two bookends are really critical for these Bears to develop these two guys. I love Peters. I think what he's brought to the line, leadership-wise, coming off.
Well, that's what I was gonna.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna ask you.
I love him. Listen, if I agree. If James Daniels could do what you're saying he could do at center, by all means, he should be the center. I'm on record saying.
Is that on Juan Castillo, Olin? Because I think if you were coaching,
remember now they moved him when Harry was here, right? They moved him from
was that
the
a
center
Matt
position
Nagy?
to guard and moved Cody Whitehair back in.
Was that Matt Nagy doing that?
I don't know. I don't know who moved everybody around, but they basically said he and Mitch Trubisky, and they didn't like the calls that were being made.
He wasn't loud enough, is what Greg Gabriel said when we had him on the air. His voice wasn't loud. What? I'm like, what?
No, I don't buy that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I bring you on. And listen, I love Olin Kreutz. This would be going on. If Olin was the GM or president, I'm the head coach. Me and him are arguing to get the best.
Oh, no, we're not arguing, right? We're just trying to find solutions, man.
Yes,
that's your opinion. I like that people give their opinion. I just tell people, if you want to talk centers with me, then we got to talk centers now, because I can talk center. I can talk centers for hours, right?
Right.
So,
my favorite center, though, in the league, aside from you, obviously, I love the kid Lindsley, and I love J.C. Treader out of Cornell. When he was coming out, I just saw it. They both played the Packers, whatever the frig, but they developed their offensive linemen up there.
So J.C. Treader, the kid for the Browns, right?
He's with the Browns now. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm telling you now, I can find you position with him struggling at the point of attack. I can find you a lot of film.
I'm
been struggling lately at the point of attack, right? So
I'm gonna watch him.
Yeah,
I'm doing Bears stuff. So to your
this
point,
is important. It's important when you talk about like running a franchise running organization. It's important when you say you improve the team. Well, where's my leverage point? By that I mean, where can I find a guy, stick him in, and he'll make the biggest difference for my offense? Now, for me, I need a dynamic playmaker. I need a guy on the Bears offense like Fields has been. Fields was in the second half, right? He was dynamic. He was dynamic on that 4th and 1, right? In that game, I'm losing my train of thought.
San Francisco 49ers.
San Francisco. I mean, that's a dynamic play. Phil, when's the last time we saw something like that? I can't remember. I was going crazy. We were at the NBC Sports.
Played with every quarterback known to the Bears.
Man.
So have you ever
I
seen?
What we need, Khalil Herbert has been pretty good there. I'd like to see him develop more. But we need a guy on the outside, man, somebody who scares people. I'm watching Jamar Chase against the Baltimore Ravens, right? I mean, he's taking the top off that defense over and over again. So we need guys like that. You watch Lamar Jackson on film. To me, this offense, if they could develop the linemen they have, waiting room, training, get the most out of these guys, Tevin Jenkins, Larry Borum, even Mustafa, James Daniels, he's a free agent, right? What are they going to do with James Daniels? They don't know.
You got to free. That's your best lineman. They let him walk.
All that money. So now you got that. So that's what I'm saying, right? Like people talk to me about Sam. I got $50 million here. I got $60-70 million there. How much I'm going to pay my center? Right? I can't have a $80 million center now, right? So I got 2 young tackles. So to me, I am trying to find, if I'm on the Bears offense, I got to find a dynamic receiver, playmaker, slot guy, someone who makes plays, Cooper Kupp, somebody like that who gets open, understands how to get open, understand how to run routes.
Well, let's go back real quick. Since we're on this position, I didn't want to go off the offensive line because I wanted to ask you about Jason Peters. Is this somebody you would say, hey, you got to re-sign this guy and bring him back because he's been such a asset to this football team?
I wouldn't mind having Jason Peters back, and as long as he understands his role, and I can't pay him a lot of money. But I think a guy like that is always an asset. A guy with a Hall of Fame career, with the knowledge he has. You watch him, guys will jump off sides like they did against Pittsburgh and one of those 50 million penalties they had false start. And you'll see him talk to Sam and talk to Borum about the silent count, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just see him in the things that you see when you used to play. Calm
Yes.
down, guys. Larry, you got to calm down. Sam, speed the snap up a little bit. Just talking to both guys. You see him helping guys out because he's been in every situation, right? So if he'll come back and help me develop Tevin Jenkins and be kind of a de facto offensive line coach. And when you look at Jason Peters, he doesn't take shit from anybody, right? That guy's a monster. So even if a coach steps out of line, he's going to get an earful from Jason Peters. And to be honest with you, if I'm at Halisaw, I need guys like that, man. I need football guys.
Thank you.
I need guys for getting guys' faces, make things uncomfortable every once in a while. I'll tell you to shut up when you don't want to hear it. So I need guys like him around. I could see him doing that on the field. And he's earned the right. He's earned the right to do it. And plus, he's big and strong. So when he says that, what are you going to say, right? You probably
That's
just
like
shut
you.
up.
That's
But I mean,
though.
I like what he brings to the team this year. Now, I got to develop my young guys eventually, right? I got to get them out there. I got to see what Tevin Jenkins has, Larry Borum. I got to find myself a left tackle.
Jenkins? Do you rush Jenkins out there? Do you put Jenkins out there at left tackle and then put Peters at guard?
I hope they have numbers on him, Phil. By that I mean this. I hope they know what he squatted before he got hurt. I hope they know what he benched before he got hurt. I hope they know what his mobility was.
Pay attention.
I hope they know
here.
what his internal, external rotation is. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to my guy John Quint. He's a guy in Ohio, trains a lot of people. These are a lot of his ideas. But he always says that to me. Make sure you get numbers on guys so you know where they are and you know where they have to improve. And I hope they have numbers on Tevin Jenkins because then you're not guessing, right? By that I mean, well, he looks ready. Well, if I put him under that squat bar and I see that his squat is down 100 pounds, I don't got to guess. He's not ready. No matter what you tell me, he's not ready. If I put him under the squat bar, if I put him on some kind of exercise, if I have him do a box jump, to see his explosiveness. If his numbers are close to where they used to be, well, I get him on the field. If he's only about 65 to 70%, I may let him practice, but I'm not putting him in any live drills, any live football action.
Dude, this is, if you're listening, hit the fucking like button, smash it, let everybody know exactly, Tom, because right there is why this guy needs to be the Chicago Bears president of football operations. That'll be your title, CEO and president of football, because what you just said there is protecting the kid, and it's also helping your franchise and its future. It's like, oh, we got a shiny toy. He's back off IR. You see all these blog boy nerds. Oh, let's move him into guard. No, you don't do that shit. You do this right. And I got goosebumps there with you talking about those.
Well, and if you think about it, right, like I've heard people say that, and my answer, they've asked me, and I said, guys, I mean, how can you even have an answer to a question that you've never even seen him in pads in the NFL?
Exactly.
But you're already moving him, like
let's put him at guard.
There's so many moving parts. There's so many moving parts to all of this. I'm not sticking him on the field unless he's close to at least 90. Not everybody's going to be 100% healthy in a year. I understand that. I played injured all the time. But if he's not 85 to 90%, I'm not putting my young tackle out there. I just keep developing him in practice. I keep developing him in the weight room. I keep him on the film room. I keep him moving forward. And at least I know by January, February, March of next year, I got him at 100%.
I love that. And I think that's doing the right thing. You remember Spike Lee, do the right thing. Not talking about a black or white thing. I'm talking about straight up football. Do not listen to any outside noise. You turned off the TVs for fuck's sake, for Mitch. Turn off the noise. You don't just put a body out there because he's big and he's talented. Let's put him at guard. If I see that shit, I'm going to lose my mind if he's playing guard. I swear to God, Olin, I will. I'll go crazy.
You don't want the kids here to play left tackle.
Yes,
let's give him every chance to do it. Let's give him every chance.
If it means he's sitting, red shirting behind a fucking future Hall of Famer like yourself, that is a good thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, let him pick Jason Peters' brain, man. Let them watch film with Peters. Really, I would, if I was his coach, I'd walk in a notebook about this big and hand it to him and say, by the time this year's done, I want this filled up. with things Jason Peters has told you to do on how to prepare, how to work, how to study guys, how to set, all the different things you can learn from this guy. If you're not taking notes, if you don't have it in a vault somewhere, then you failed this year.
Exactly. This is why you hire football guys. They're exactly red hat duck. They're blunt with ownership. Speaking of that, during your time with the Bears, did you have any interaction with Virginia, George, Michael at the time, McCaskey, or Ted Phillips? And if so, did you sense that there was a direction being run at? We tell the story about you going up to Lovey saying, we need linemen, man. We need linemen. They bring in Frank Omiel for you with Jerry.
Well, you remember, I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was 2008 or 9, Lovey was on the hot seat, and we were in Baltimore, and we lost that game. And a lot of people were calling for Lovey's head. They asked me, they said, do you think Lovey should be the head coach or something like that? And I said, there's a lot wrong with the Chicago Bears, but it's not Lovey, right? So the next day, David Hall, who's a friend of mine now with the radio show, he wrote a hit piece on me that I should be fired from the Chicago Bears. He said, that this happens. I'll send it to you. I'll find out. Tweet it. I'll send it to you. Anyway, so I said that, right? And I was called up by Ted Phillips, Jerry Angelo. They all asked me what I meant by that comment. And I said, well, it's not hard to figure out, right? Like, I meant what I said. I meant that Lovey's not the biggest problem in this building. So they've known how I felt for a while at Hallex Hall about the way they run everything there. So from top to bottom, you go back to when they had Ryan Pace and Ballard here, who's at the Colts now.
Yes.
Ballard was up. Ballard told them what they needed. They didn't like it. They didn't like to hear it. Ballard was in the building for a long time. If anybody knew what the Chicago Bears needed to do, it's Chris Ballard. So, they don't really like to hear things that they really need to improve on. So did I have run-ins with people there? Obviously, by now, most people know my personality. The answer is yes. I've had run-ins, and sometimes I was right and sometimes I was wrong. But I gave my opinion on things. And like I said, in that article from David Hall, I'll send it to you. He writes basically a lot of story about it because obviously he must have had someone in the building who told him exactly what happened. So he writes in that story about how I should be fired that year. But the next year we came back and we went to the NFC Championship game. So
that's how it rolls. You also had a great offensive line. I want to talk about Nagy real quick, and then I want to play a couple plays here because I want to know in your mind how they're blocking zone from your point of view. So there's just two plays that I have a question for you because as an NFL center, there's nobody better to tell us and show us. But first, I want you to respond. Here's Matt Nagy. You saw the Cassius Marsh thing. So Matt Nagy saying referee Tony Correnti hip checked him. And this is Matt Nagy's quote. They're both doing their thing. I don't see anything intentional through both of them. Now, you're a player in the locker room after that tough loss. You feel like you got fleeced. How important is it for Lovey, or you played for Wanstead, Geron, and Lovey, correct?
Yes.
And how important is it for you to see the head coach stand up for his guys?
Well, and take the Cassius Marsh play out and just talk about the James Daniels cut block on the goal line. That was a bad call.
The worst.
There were times in the Pittsburgh Steelers that line up offsides and they're calling Quinn offsides. If you watch an NFL game, these D linemen line up offsides all the time.
Exactly.
Cassius Marsh, now, to be honest with you, as a leader on the team, I would have to go up to him after watching the film and say that wasn't the time to bust out your spin kick and stare at the sideline since you really didn't beat anybody on that play. He got his ass blocked for about 5 seconds and it fell into a sack, right? So I got to talk to him too about, and then the hip check was just nonsense. So Coach Nagy, sometimes, man, like you're saying, every once in a while as a leader, you stand up and you fight for your guys. You fight for them. You take the fine that's coming your way. I thought maybe that was one of those times. But this team, they seem to disagree with me, right? I thought the Aaron Rodgers situation, I thought that was the time to tell Aaron Rodgers he can go F himself for saying he owned you. They didn't agree with me, right? Coco met Nagy them. They thought it was fine because I guess he's earned it and all this stuff they were saying. So they seem to take a different route on this. They have to do what they think is right. But, the whole Cassius Marsh play, that's nonsense by the league, taunting. But look, Cassius Marsh, I mean, he didn't beat anybody on that play. Even Roquan Smith ran up to him, went to celebrate him because he wouldn't celebrate with his teammate. Even Roquan ran away from him. Like, I don't even know what you're doing right now, right? Why are you staring at the sideline? Coming off the practice squad is beyond me. So, a couple of things that, as a leader, Coach Nagy could have handled there.
Yes, I mean, I don't even know how prolific you realize you might be right in this moment, because you saying the Aaron Rodgers thing, there's nothing more vulnerable, more disrespectful to the McCaskies than losing to the Packers. You hear more from that. Remember, Michael McCaskey put the asterisk against one game. It affects them. So to have the quarterback say, we fucking own you. We own you to your paying customers. And you as the head coach don't say anything, or the team saying we have Olin fucking Kreutz saying I would have fucking punched him in his face. Am I correct? That's what you said?
Yeah, they asked me how I would have felt on the field if I was a player. And that's what I would have felt like. Would have felt like punching him in the face. I mean, I'm sure every fan in that end zone felt the same way. Everybody, when you first saw it, I mean, I don't know. Some people were all right with it. I mean, everybody has
Who's all right with that? I want to, like, the coach.
Everybody has to feel the way they want to feel about it. I don't know. I don't. If you're on the street somewhere and someone screams at you, I effing own you, I'm hoping you'll react to that in a way that doesn't say, well, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. And, you do win a lot. So say whatever you want to me. I didn't know when that became fine.
I love you, man, because that is I think as I hire you as president and you're doing your exit interviews, that would be the question. I mean, I just don't see you keeping Matt Nagy as head coach. I don't know if you agree with that, but just in that incident alone, this isn't what we're selling.
I mean, from outside looking in, when you talk about Coach Nagy's job, you talk about the losing streaks in all these years in a row. You talk about looking at the offense. There is a lot but you just don't know until you get into that building everything that's going on, right? And you'd have to collect as much information as you could. But right now, I mean, if this season keeps going the way it's going, you'd be hard pressed to keep those guys.
They have 3 4-game losing streak seasons right now. Okay, so 3. 2019, 2020, now 2021.
You know what that tells you? We got to get better at collaborating, me and you. That's where I keep my job.
They have to come up with another political slogan. They can't use it again, can they?
Never collaborated well enough.
BU, collaborate, obsession. These are all the things. Let's go to this tape real quick. We could talk over it. I could pause it, but here we are. We're running. Now, my question is, why the focus with Jane? You see obviously Jason Peters misses the cutoff block, which is key here. Okay. But why is Jason Peters so concerned about this defensive? I can't remember what he is. Let me pull it back.
Is that Hayward?
Yeah, it's Hayward.
Hayward, defensive end, yeah.
Yeah. And he's playing what? They got a 6-man front there. So
7.
I just why don't they get up on that backer there with James?
Too tight. So James Daniels is running up to.
He's he's blocking down, turning his
doubling
shoulders.
up. Yeah, he's gone too far here. It looks to me somewhat like Montgomery turns this up a little too soon. That's why guys fall off their blocks. So you see he starts at Borum or the tight end area. He's got to keep pressing their feet and come right off their feet. Right. So even if he does that, he takes a linebacker just a little further. So in my opinion, now listen. Here's a conversation I've had with a lot of people. You have to know who your running back is, and Montgomery runs the outside zone like this a lot. It's really not for him. It's almost mid zone when he runs it. He doesn't really run an outside zone, right? Because if this is true outside zone, he has to run to that tight end's block until he gets to their feet, and then he's got to cut it up. And you can see now if he runs at Jesse James there and gets to his feet, that linebacker has to stay there, right? So there's no color there off of Cole Kmet. So you could almost argue he's got to stay outside here. So the only problem is Borum's not getting much movement on that end. So his feet are kind of pushed back into Montgomery, and it may be why he's taking it back early. But David takes it back just a little early here, and that's why that linebacker sits in the hole there. And James doesn't expect him to be in that hole that early. He's got to press it and hit upfield real quick. As far as Peters, just wasn't a great step by him to cut off one of the premier defensive linemen in the NFL.
Yeah, he didn't get his head across his face 100%. So
you see that, though? You see the outside zone here just a little early by Montgomery, so that linebacker gets a chance to fall back. You see the linebackers going at first. So just a couple more steps that way, and he gets him to stay out there, and he can scream off of James Daniels' butt. And then he's only breaking an arm tackle from Hayward here. Now, look, I'll be totally honest with you guys. As you know, I see everything from an O-lineman's point of view. I'm sure a running back would tell you something a little different here. But I know the coaching point for running backs is get that damn thing with your shoulders to at least the feet of the offensive lineman, unless you have a reason to cut back, and then you're screaming off their ass. And he should have been screaming off James Daniels' butt here, and that guy should have been up one more step into the line.
There you go.
And you can see here, if you go back, you can see here Justin Fields is trying to hand it to him wider. See how close they are to each other?
Yep.
See how Justin Fields had to kind of bail out of the handoff?
Yep.
That's because he's Montgomery's too tight here.
So you wanted him pressing to James. You want him into
outside zone, right? Now, listen, somebody may call me up and say, Olin, you're completely wrong. He is running mid-zone here.
Yeah, I thought it was mid-zone, but I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you. That I see them continue to focus in on the linemen and not get to the next level like you used to. Look at the great job your boy does here. He kisses.
Well, because that nose guard went backside, so he has really nothing there, right? This guy, they don't have the nose guard in Alu. So same thing here with Cody. Cody's got to stay on that angle and not turn upfield. That's why he loses them late.
Yes. Here, we'll go one more time so you could see it.
So you
breaking
can see
down tape.
If you just look at Justin Fields, you see how far he's trying to get out with the ball, and then he has to almost stop and pull back. That's because Montgomery's too tight on that.
Here we go again. Now, this play, I don't understand the coaching point with the tackle. So I don't know why they're focusing on 99 when he's pinching down. See it? And now he's pushing his back. Why doesn't he just
inside zone, right?
Why doesn't he
inside
just
zone? And
get
just
up
like
on
you
93?
said, like it looks like they call this what Cody Whitehair is doing. They call this, he's trying to big arm the guy. I'm not big on that. I like to get movement off the ball. But what I mean by big arm is he'll step and try to like turn him in. So really it's inside zone to James Daniels, but out of gun, the aiming point is Sam Mustipher's backside leg, right? So they know the running back's going to come down on that backside leg, and they're trying to get back to this B block, which Cody and Peters, I forget this guy's name, but I thought it'd be a big advantage when they came in with their backups. You see Hayward is out. That's Wormley, and I think that's their rookie there, or maybe not, it's 99, but I thought they were going to get a lot of movement there. I think all the linemen here are going too far, to be honest with you. If Montgomery is coming down the backside lane of Mustipher, backside leg of Mustipher, we got to get more vertical. The two guards are the guys who are the point of attack. They got to come off and strike these guys. We got to get them moving back.
And they just don't block that back.
And they tell the right tackle Borum, just when you have a pass rusher, sometimes you can just pass set them and get them up the field. But TJ Watt, a little too smart, came under a little reduced move there, made it tough on them. But no, I'm with you on this one, man. If we get these two D tackles in the game, we get Hayward out. We got to get movement here.
Exactly. Olin Kreutz breaking down the tape with me tonight.
You put me in my wheelhouse, man. I mean, you're talking the run game. I love that stuff.
That's what we do here on It's the Tape Never Lies Network.
Never lies, man.
It never does. And that's why I love you here. 5 minutes I got with you because I don't want to keep you unless you're comfy. But I had a couple, what's in your opinion? Are you a fan of those shotgun runs as a center? Like I'm looking at third and ones.
I am for the Bears sometimes just because that zone read. I like Justin Fields out there. I like him one-on-one. I think it was, you know, I forget what DN he was one-on-one with. He's a 4-4 guy. I mean, if you can slip that tight end out, get him on the safety or the cornerback and get Justin Fields out running guys. I love that stuff.
Why don't they
so it just depends who you got a quarterback, right? If you have a good RPO quarterback, I don't mind the gun runs. I don't like gun runs at 3rd and short. I'd rather the running back be in the dot about 6 yards deep, coming downhill at somebody. I think you could do the same thing with Justin. I think they should do more design runs. You're going to see the Ravens do some of that this week, although they haven't been doing as much of it lately. But I don't mind them for the Bears just because who's at quarterback.
Who, in your mind, is the biggest disappointment for you this season? Like you had bigger hopes for on the offense and the defense. One guy on
I was hoping
offense,
Eddie Goldman was going to be dominant. I was hoping when he came back, he would be the guy we remembered. I think we saw some of that this week against the Steelers. I think he's been blocked a lot this year. I thought Matt did a great job versus him for the 49ers. I think he hasn't been as dominant as he has been in past. I just think there's so much more Eddie Goldman can bring. I remember watching him at nose guard. I was high at him. I even think when they go to nickel and they put him at 2 technique, I thought he was a good pass rusher. Now I see in their nickel package, I think they got Bilal Nichols starting right now over the left guard. So I don't think he's even starting nickel packages. So that guy, I thought when he came back, that front seven where all the money is on defense, I thought they were going to dominate. They haven't been healthy this year, obviously. You haven't seen Akeem Hicks and Eddie Goldman out there together. So just for me personally, knowing what kind of player Eddie Goldman was, I just wanted to see him I wanted to see that front seven come alive this year and take over games, and we haven't seen much of it.
Great call there. I'm just going to ask you, do you think the COVID sit out had a lot to do with it? And then him being out of shape to begin with, he was kind of, I don't remember if they put him on PUP or something before he was able to come back. Then he was out for a minute again.
Yeah, it was his knee or started growing. I don't know what it was, but like you're saying, we saw him in that last preseason game, and then we didn't see him start the year.
Exactly.
He was out all last year. I think, I mean, I don't know, where are you training when you're not around the team for a year?
Right.
It's hard, like we talked about earlier. When he walked back in the building, that they asked him to get on the bench press in the squat and see where he was at. Listen, how far away are you from what you were before you're here? Because I thought Eddie Goldman, nose guards feel like, gosh, they wake up their nose guards, right? They wake up stopping the damn run. I mean, I played against guys, Ted Washington, Pat Williams. Those guys are at, Taco Bell late at night, and they show up and they stop the damn run, right? So I thought Eddie Goldman was going to show up with his neck. It looked like Eddie Goldman's got no neck, right? His neck is – he looks at that. You see that nose guard for Georgia? That fucking kid, man.
He's the best player in the country.
He introduced himself. I didn't know who he was, right? He came on TV. I go, who in the hell is that guy? Because I wouldn't want his neck. I mean, that's what Eddie Goldman was like, right? Eddie Goldman. Anyway, I thought he'd be fine. I didn't think that the year was going to affect him, and I was completely wrong.
What about on offense? Who would be your biggest disappointment?
Well, it's got to be Allen Robinson so far, right? You thought he was going to really just be the Allen Robinson we remember. Now, I don't know if that's him or Laser or Nagy. Got to find a way to get the ball to him. Phil's got to realize that he's open even when he's not open. I've heard all these things.
Right.
Look, if that's the problem, you guys got to spend more time together, man. We got to get this guy. I paid him $18 million a year. I got to get something out of him, right? I gave him a franchise tag. He's got 18 million reasons to be playing better football for me. I got to give him the ball. I got to force feed it to him. I saw one play. I don't know if you remember this. They ran sprint right. I think it was San Fran or some team, and Allen Robinson is backside on the 10-yard line. Why is Allen Robinson backside and Demir Bird running a wheel route on the front side? That doesn't make any sense to me, right?
It's so bad.
Jimmy Graham over there running, throw the fake to Allen Robinson. Even the one Cole Kmet ran the jam route. Greg Olsen, I don't know what you think. I think Greg Olsen does a great job.
I think he does do a great job.
I think he does an amazing job. He called it a jam route when Cole Kmet dropped it and Fields put it on him.
Oh, that was how he pressed the outside.
Allen Robinson can run that route.
Exactly.
I think he can run that route.
But this is why they need you in the building, Olin, because me and you are step for step there. I would have went Bilal Nichols, to be honest, on defense, but me and you are totally
step for me, like Phil, to be honest with you, to me, like Bilal, still on his rookie contract, right? I always kind of look.
I thought he would have been. This is a
your
pay
business,
year.
Your business, and your business. The guys who get paid more, they got to do more, right? You get more money, you got to do more.
I get
I give Eddie Goldman $10 million. I need more out of him. I need more out of him. I give Allen Robinson $18 million. I need more. I give Jimmy Graham $10 million. I need more out of him.
I totally agree on everything. Last question on Allen Robinson. Listen, I'm catching this guy play away, jogging. Play, he's got to make the block on counter. He's got to come in and get that front side backer. I tapped him. I did my job. That shit doesn't happen with you, Olin, if you're in charge. Just be honest. Even if you were the center, the head coach, the offensive line coach, or the president, like I want you to be. 18 million reasons to go out there and play your ass off for the Chicago Bears. How do you deal with somebody that's selfish like that?
It's hard for me to say Allen Robinson is selfish, just all the years I've seen him play football, right? I know what you're talking about this year. We haven't seen the Allen Robinson that we saw the years before, right?
Right.
So I know what you're saying, and you're right. You have to talk to him at some point, but I have to talk to everybody, man. I got to figure out why he's not getting the ball. I got to figure out why he's off on sprint right, why we're not featuring this guy. I don't know what you feel, but the red zone, man, it's players and not plays. Like, stop running your plays. God. Run it to
Speak
the
it
players.
again.
I gotta find my guys, my star guys, right? Allen Robinson now, he's been a pro since he got here. So I have a hard time calling him selfish. We haven't got what we need out of him this year at all. Rookie quarterback, maybe they don't see he's open. Now because of the NFL films, I don't get the coaches film anymore. Whatever I think they have, the game pass sucks this year.
Oh my
so
fucking
I don't get
God.
to see. I don't get to see
worse than Tony Correnti.
Yeah, I don't get to see the coaches film, so I can't really say what they're all doing on the outside and the inside. But I got to figure out how to get him the ball, man. I got to figure out how to make him. I got to figure out how to make my highest paid offensive player the centerpiece of my offense.
What are the whys, right? What are the whys? And so when we all understand what the whys are, whatever that is.
I'm telling you, how stupid is that?
Dad, thank you. There's my dad reacted to that.
Please tell him I said hello, man.
He wants you. We got to get you on tonight. If you're just tuning in, you missed a classic. Olin Kreutz, probably one of my favorite guests we have. And I have a lot of favorites, so I throw that out there, but I'm not blowing smoke. I wanted to shake this dude's hand when I came out to Chicago. We're going to get that to happen. You're a consummate professional, but you are, Gary Williams is one of our huge TTNL fans, and he's like, there's hope, guys. There's hope. Well, Olin Kreutz is my hope. You got to be able to listen to the people that you don't want to hear, especially in football. You got to understand we're trying to fix this shit. It matters to Olin. I could tell it matters to you.
Well, get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's how we get better. And the Bears could use someone in their building. They've shown everybody that collaboration does not work. So let's try something else.
I love you, Olin. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for your time. We had a lot of fun, but I got to can you come on with me and my dad and break down some film on a Saturday morning sometime?
Yeah, give me some times when you guys are doing it. If I can, if I don't have kids sports going on, I'd love to do it.
That'll be phenomenal. Even if we have to do it at night, my dad's like, get Olin on. I love this guy. And
right,
I will.
I appreciate it, man.
All right. I'll tell him you said hello. Okay. Thank you so much again.
Phil, you guys have a great night, man. Thank you.
All the best. That's Olin Kreutz, Jackle. Unbelievable.
Fuck. What an education, my man. Holy shit.
We're going back and forth, but that's what it's all about. I love that guy, and I don't blow smoke, man. Even if we don't agree on things, I know he'll get the right people, make the right decisions, Chris, to showcase what the Chicago Bears need, the steps that you need to do to win. You got the quarterback. We all understand this coach is the biggest fucking weakness there could possibly be. Olin gets it. He has
Not
so
afraid
much
to say it either, though, right?
He's not afraid to say it. I mean, he did stay the course of trying not to be like, fuck Nagy. You know, he's got a job, NBC. I don't want to get him in trouble. But if anybody was the title of this show, Keep It at 100 with us, it's Olin Kreutz. I mean, I say it a lot. I get emotional when you heard Olin, the tape doesn't lie.
Nope.
A tape never lies. That's the title of this network. Shayne, it's like Phil, and I've told the story before, but I'm going to fucking tell it again. It's my show. There's no fucking Shayne here anyway. He's sleeping, for God's sake. But that being said, to build what we've built here and have a relationship with someone like Olin, and a true, like, I said this the other day at our friend's 40th birthday, and I believe it's really true. You know, politics invades everybody's fucking thinking. Let it go. Be your own fucking person. Know in your gut what's right. I've told everybody this. I was the first one out of everybody. So fuck all these blog boys. I said, Nagy's a shoe salesman. He's not a head coach. I saw it right away with how he used Jordan Howard. Anybody can call plays. Anybody. Jake Rieger can call fucking plays. It's not hard. What is hard is talking the hard conversations and the things you need to do to be better. People don't want to hear it. The Bears didn't want to hear it. You heard all. Chris Ballard was telling them the things they needed to fix. They didn't want to hear it. I'm telling you every week the things you want to fix. This is a fucking culture fuck in Chicago where the head coach can't stand up for his team. You heard Olin.
Yeah.
Our rival quarterbacks, I own you. You heard Olin. This stuff matters to Cal Abdullah. This stuff matters to Mario D'Ambrosio and Lady C and Cam Beige. All of these people. It matters to me.
Matters to me.
I've never once in a Nagy year cheered for them to fucking lose. I just can't. It's not in my process. I'm so disheartened. It might have been the reason why I got sick. I'm like sick to my stomach with the NFL, the bullshit, and the politics.
Send the fucking medical bills to Nagy. Fuck face.
My last point in this fucking rant, though, is this, people. I love our fan base. And I'll say this. Everybody talks about, hey, if you change one person's life, you've done your job. Well, I've changed thousands. So you want to see me walk around like an arrogant prick? I don't. I speak my truth with passion. Some people confuse that and don't understand the pride and the integrity and the amount of hours and time it takes to do and educate yourself. Like, I'm not watching every fucking center in the NFL. I'm not. I'll be the first one. I have my favorites coming out of the draft. I'll watch all the draft. But surround yourself with good people. And I'm saying, I'm getting back to the birthday, the 40th birthday. I'm sitting there. Wow. This guy is saying, I can't believe your show is blowing up. People are talking. They're not even Bears fans and they watch it. They love it. It's unbelievable. And I'm like, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And I'm very grateful. I am. But there's always people in Tito's life, in Bob's, Chris Jackle, Cherie's, that pretend they're your friend. But really hope you fail. That's not what this is. That's not what this network is. It's not what this show is. Like, there's never been a point in my life that I've wanted Cars to fail so I can come on this show and bust his ball. Like, I don't. I honestly, tonight is a confession. I get my balls broken the most on this whole fucking network.
Phil don't do shit.
Right. But I live for that because I know it's all in fun. It's all in joke. And at the end of the day, it's the real people that recognize, you know what? TTNL is the fucking best. Phil, Shayne, Cars was saying that. Oh, Let me tell you this, Blog Boys. Mac Jones isn't good because the Patriots are better coached. Mac Jones is good. That's what I saw on tape. That's it. I see fucking fraud boys who say they've called plays. I don't give a fuck if you call plays. Come out, coach me. Let's break down film together like we did with Olin Kreutz tonight. I want to understand why they're turning their shoulders, blocking down. He's telling me it might have been the back. Well, we'll find out. That's what coaching is. The best coaches go to every coach's clinic and learn more. I had to go and learn about the inverted wishbone that Navy runs and Army because we had no running backs. How are we going to move the football? So my dad had a brilliant idea. We need to do what Army does. Let's go down to Navy. And all these coaches went down there and learned how they do it. And you learn. But taking shit from us, stealing and never giving credit, and then saying this dumbass shit, I don't give a fuck who's better, Justin Fields or Mac Jones. It doesn't matter. They're in year one. Their story is beginning. We're at the preface. Or is it the preface? Whatever. Of the book. It's the preface. Preface is, you might have came too early.
That's the O face, but, you know, whatever.
Where's the corn on the cob when you need it?
The quickie.
Cob quickie.
Dude, you had people in the, just real quick in the chat, everyone was worried about Dieter Iceland. It's like,
oh, yeah.
You know, I just wanted to let you know that was something that
I
people
didn't
were
get
curious
to
about.
We're going to have Olin on again.
Yeah.
Olin worked with Dieter, but then Dieter went and did his, you know, to another thing. So we don't know what Dieter. I know what I believe Dieter is, but to Olin's point, until you get out there, this is a coaching staff that didn't give Justin Fields reps, that didn't put their offensive linemen out there in the preseason. They didn't play the starters with their guy. It's unfortunate, but it is
Nerd alert.
What it is. There he is.
Hey.
My boy, Matthew Karstensen is here. What is up, Cars? I hope you got to see a little bit of that amazing interview.
You know, it's really a shame he's so laid back. You know, and he's very timid in how he approaches the game. It's such a departure from the way he played. So, you know, it's
he hates
really
Mustafa too.
Yeah, I mean it's killer. No, it was. He's always one of my favorites to listen to. Like you said in the interview, he understands it, he feels it, he lived it, and he still does. Some of these guys, you know, they kind of stop caring when they retire.
Yes, exactly.
He's not one.
Let me just do this real quick, and then we're going to get to our next guest, Jake Rieger, and I'll let him tell his story, and I'll give you a little preface of it. But listen, BETUS. Life is back, guys. The NFL is back. It's been back. The NBA is back. College basketball, NHL, NBA, UFC, PGA, and yes, it's all there. Bowl season coming up. The betting lines are open. They're up for the 27th year in live betting on all of it. Log into betus.com. They're our sponsor, 100 Crew. You're going to bet. If you gamble, fuck your bookie. Go over to betus.com, or you can make a phone call. I know Alex Acevedo's birthday, he finally got a cell phone. He's been using a rotary phone for years. 800-729-3887. That's 1-800-79-BETUS. BETUS for 125% bonus. Just put in the code ShyCity125. That's ShyCity125. Customer service pros are ready. Get your phone. You can go on to their website. It's BETUS. The kickoff has started now. Play with the proven mainstay in the industry. BETUS. You bet. You win. You get paid. It's betus.com. Thank you for them. BETUS. BETUS. You better bet your ass. David Montgomery was back. Before we don't have a fancy schmancy introduction like we did for Cars.
He's going to sing, I think. Cars, you're going to sing, right?
Here he is,
Yes.
Jake.
What's up, guys? What's
Jake
going on?
Rieger. What is up with you?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I'm doing good. We're gonna take this guy out because I know, and you're just give us the story. So Shayne reaches out to me and says, and I'm just paraphrasing Jake, okay? So don't take this the hard way.
All right.
All right. He says, Phil, this kid reached out to me. He wants to interview us. He's like a broadcast journalist degree.
Nah, I don't know about that.
No? Well, he wants to interview us. Can
Well,
we do it
yeah.
on the live show? I said, okay. Who is he? He's a big fan of the show?
I'm a huge fan of the show, yeah. Ever since I started liking the Bears, Tape Never Lies got me into you just right away, man. That show is awesome. But basically, I'm just a junior in high school, and I have
Junior in high school?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that you were
Do you
in
have a brother?
college. Look at that.
Do you have a brother, Jack, perhaps?
Rieger?
Yeah, actually, I do.
All right, buddy, keep it calm over there. All right, we got it. We got it.
It's crazy that you actually pronounced my name right. I did not think you were gonna get it. Everyone is like Rieger all the time. It's annoying.
Listen to, I get something. Geography, I struggle.
Yeah.
But if you have a weird last name or an unusual pronounced last name, you tend to pronounce other. Like I can only imagine what Phil hears for pronunciations of his. So we tend to get it right. Oh, I could like Otashian.
Yeah. When I was playing baseball, we were in like the championship and we're down in this team in the valley. And, you know, I have olive skin or whatever. Guys calling me Otto-chan. Otto-chan. Right? So everyone thought I was Chinese. So it was like,
I'm
what
now
is going on?
We got to get that as a T-shirt because I would totally sport Otto-chan for sure.
So when I was playing football in the valley, they did the same thing, and I had a visor on. So I'm walking off, shaking hands, and this big dude, he ended up going to the University of, I think it was Arkansas, some SEC school. He played, and he goes, "Damn, I thought you were Chinese." But anyway, Rieger, what's the story? What is the story here?
It's pretty simple. I'm in this journalism class, and basically it's just this big ass project that I gotta ask someone. I got pretty lucky that Shayne responded so quickly because I'm supposed to find someone to interview about their personality and what they do. And I was thinking, like, I don't even really have anyone like that to interview. So it's crazy that you guys responded so fast and I can come on here and just ask you a few questions. That's really it.
Oh, bring that fat ass over here. I want to get it in my mouth.
Oh no, we don't want to get you in trouble with your teachers there.
No, I made sure, like, I just said Phil. I said Phil, that's it.
All right. So you, the listener, Jake is in high school and he is going to ask me some questions here.
I could disappear.
No, you can ask. Are you going to ask him as well or no, just me?
It was just you, but I'm sure
Okay.
you can tag along a little bit.
Okay.
They're
There
pretty
we go.
basic. I mean, just need some quotes and stuff, from inspirational quotes.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Have you heard my rant? No.
Oh,
go
I
ahead.
love your rants, man. I love them. I watched that Monday night one so many times.
Oh, really?
I mean,
look at you.
No, after that loss.
You got to get this guy a T-shirt, Jackle.
Jackle don't do shit.
After that
Jackle
painful
don't do
loss, I never thought I would be laughing after a loss like that with the officiating. But just seeing you yelling, "Correnti, man," it's just hilarious.
Tony Vegas is now his name on this channel. Tony Vegas taking bets. All right, let's go, Jake.
All right, so first question is like, around how much time do you spend like making one episode of the Tape Never Lies? Like, what's that process like?
Great question. Oh, so as Olin was saying earlier, the Game Pass has been atrocious, and it is no longer giving on the app, which I would use all the time, to download the plays, cut it up, and do it. So last season, I would have to watch the play, cut it, drop it, save it, then I manipulate it later. So the cutting of the tape is going to take 2 hours to get through a whole game, about 2.5 hours. Then the whole manipulation of the play. Now I'm just talking about offense. The whole manipulation of the play then transpires. So that's another 12 hours, 12 to maybe sometimes 7 to 12 hours. It depends on how many plays. So I know that's a big gap of 5 hours, but if there's like 58 plays, I manipulate every play and then I decide, okay, this play is a really good coaching point. I mean, so now I got to watch these plays. You follow me? So some of these plays are like, oh, they just died in the line of scrimmage. There's nothing to show or teach. So that's really the whole premise. So then, okay, so now, so what is that, Cars? You keep math. So 2.5 hours, then we'll say 10 hours. We'll cut it to manipulate, get it ready. Now I'm dropping the manipulation into it. So I'm counting those into the 10 hours. Okay. So dropping that into the software iMovie that I use. Now I've dropped it. Now from the 10-hour mark, I leave it. I wake up. I want to take a break from it. So I'm not counting that break hours. So
I mean, that's what I would expect. I mean, you're watching the whole entire game.
Yeah.
A few times when you're adding up the plays. So.
Oh, God. You watch it 5-6 times based on cut. Obviously, you watch the TV copy, cut the tape, manipulate the tape. Now I got to lay down the intro, got to drop that in, put in the promos in, and now I'm doing the whole thing. Now the music goes on, and then the last part of all of this is the narration. And usually I know I intend to film it. Maybe Greg Braggs or somebody. Greg is coming this weekend. Sorry. Or Claudio will come and film so people could see, okay, I'm doing these narrations. Boom. I've already watched it 7 times, so I kind of know it. And I just one take. I try to get 5 plays in a row to get it out. And then the whole process of anxiety happens. Once I've finished that, now comes, I got to download this thing. And if you don't have enough room on your iPhone, it becomes frustrating. So I got to go into your iPhone and delete any attachments in your text to free up space. It becomes crazy. So the voiceover will usually take me 2 hours. So you got 10, 12, 14, about 18 hours probably total. Downloading becomes anxiety and then uploading. So all of it, then you're building a graphic, a thumbnail each week. So in total, I would say it takes me a good, 17 hours, 18 hours to do it.
Yeah. I mean, considering you have all this stuff too and all these other shows, that's a lot of time.
Oh yeah. My wife, that's why I just try to be thorough and honest. I don't want to let anybody, Logan, be untruthful. Now I have George, who he over in Europe, they have perfect Game Pass cars. They can watch it on the app like we used to for 12, 15 years, whatever it is. And it was heavenly because you could on Tuesday or Wednesday would be our worst complaint. Like, where's the all 22? That would suck. But then once it was out, you're done. You're on the go. And I'm trying to knock that out so I can get it out for the network. So anywhere from 17 to 15 hours in total, I would say it takes to get this done. But it usually takes me 2 days because I need a break from it.
I would expect you need a break from your post-game shows because, I don't know, my mom was wondering, how do you scream for so long? I mean, I was thinking I could do the same thing, but she was just wondering that.
It builds up over years of frustration. Like, when we first start watching, like, we got 25 minutes of it and that's it. And now, God, 40 plus years of fandom and one real Super Bowl as grown-ups. Now we could go for basically a 72-hour weekend in Vegas just screaming about it the whole entire time.
Well, I have said this, and Jackle has witnessed it. I don't remember which game, but I was so fucking disheartened and angry, even worse than the fucking Tony Vegas game.
Oh,
so I don't want to be distracted because I don't want to miss any thought, because a troll is going to say, well, you didn't say this about it in your rant. So I try to, there's no fucking notes. My notes are my Facebook frustrations. I'm just getting them out all in time. So in true form for your project, when I don't want to talk to Shayne or anybody. I don't even talk about the game as we lead into BHL. I just am going to just go. So that fucking red light comes on, green light, whatever.
Yeah.
My truth is going to come out in my rant of how, and I honestly will say this. I don't picture the audience. I picture that I'm talking to the team. That's exactly where I go. But then I know that I have to express this to an audience instead of the team. But that's where my motivation comes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like with the tape never lies and everything, going back to that. I don't really get, how do you get the footage? Because I see other shows, they can only show pictures. Do you have like, how do you get that?
Well, there's fair use. So if you're teaching and you're not, we don't advertise on this. Now, everybody's asking us to open up Super Chat and all of that. I think we've dropped the ball. You're right. We should open that, but I can't do that on the tape. Draft Dr. Phil's tape never lies. So it doesn't confuse anybody. On the video breakdowns that I narrate with the music, we can't have any commercials for anything like Manscaped or none of that, because then the NFL would shut it down based on advertising, because they want all the money. So if I'm using this, which I am, to teach everybody what exactly is going on, just like we did tonight with Olin, everything is going so fast. So you need to understand, when people have narratives and agendas, they're going to use their story or a picture, but a picture doesn't tell what the tape does.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's where, when you use fair use, everybody can, and you see so many other people, it's just doing it, but they just don't know what they're talking about. That's why this network does what it does.
And that's why Cut It Out had to move to pictures and no videos, because
that's
of
the truth.
That. Yeah, because of that.
For example, we did a patron show, X's with the O's, and Jake, I started out showing you the TV copy of what Tony Vegas did. And here's, what's his name? TJ Watt pointing after his sack at the Bears, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes this way. Then he does a kick and blows a kiss. That's taunting. That's the definition of taunting. So I'm showing this and I'm pausing it, talking about it like this. The NFL blocked that on the show because I'm using their TV copy. Now I can fight that and say, I'm teaching fans and criticizing you. I know why you shut it down, because I am pointing out the truth in which you're fraudulent, that you're having a bias towards the Bears versus the Steelers. So that's fair use is the key ingredient in all of this. That's why I'm a big believer in Patreon and going there and teaching everybody. And that's why we offer that, because of the details. And like having Olin come on a show, Steve Edwards, former Bear players. We're going to have Eric Kramer coming on, breaking down Justin Fields. That kind of stuff is important to look at the tape to get a better idea of what these guys are. And that's why we can use it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on here, by the way. I don't know if I said that already.
No, absolutely.
It's pretty crazy to be following up Olin Kreutz. That's pretty awesome.
Super easy to do, right? I mean, no problem.
Like I said at the top of the show, like a lot of and I'm saying this, I cheer for everybody until I see somebody stealing from me. and not giving credit. Then I know you're a fucking fraud. I see you take a drop from us. I see you take something I've said that everybody and their brother knows that Phil said that, and you're just using it as your own without giving credit, because I make it a point. So I don't know Rob James. I don't know Rob James. But like I said to Chris Jackle and Cherie earlier, Rob James could be the president and CEO of the Raiders, wants to hire me. He's watching the show. I don't ever throw bias at anybody. Neither does Shayne. Neither does Shayne. Yeah, fire net. But you reaching out to Shayne and Shayne saying to me, hey, you want to bring, yeah. And Shayne actually had the great idea of bringing you on this show to have the fans and you experience the show. So that's what we're talking.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Actually talking to you. This is crazy for me. This is crazy.
Are your boys watching the show tonight? Your
few
friends?
of them. I mean, I don't have many friends that are Bears fans for some reason. They're all Packers
fans.
Oh, where are you from? Where are you from?
Peoria. It's below Chicago.
Damn.
Yeah.
They're Packer fans.
I don't get it. It's ridiculous. They're going past Chicago to Green Bay.
Usually you've got a lot of Cardinals fans out that way too, which I don't understand how that
like
weirdly happens. So
it's a mix of Cubs and Cardinals.
Well, you can always show integrity, and I teach this to my sons. Like, okay, do you really have a freaking second favorite team? No. You have one team. Yeah. That's your team. You have to be loyal to that team. That, I believe, is the most important thing. Teaching young people. You see a lot of front runners. And sometimes it's bad, right? Cars were like, we're kind of abusing our children by making them cheer for this fucking poorly run organization. But am I right? I'm finding solutions for them on this network. Tape, interviews. Olin as the president and CEO, he even said, I'm gonna sit down and ask these whys. I'm gonna ask the questions.
Yeah, so, last year I was like actually pissed at my dad for birthing me into the franchise of the Bears. I mean,
if I have to suffer, you'll learn as you get older. Parenting 101 is if I have to suffer, everybody in this house is suffering with me. Yeah. That is how this works. As a dad, that is your number one goal.
I love that guy.
Well, I mean, this interview is supposed to be a little bit about personality, so I've got like two more quicker questions.
Sure.
So one, I was just curious, where does the doctor come from? Draft Dr. Phil?
Okay. So this was a nickname given to me when I used to be on Twitter. So back in the day, I was on Twitter. I had a traumatic brain injury. I had several concussions in my life, and I was at work. I used to be a juvenile correctional officer. I got injury. And then my therapist, who was helping me with my speech, it's a long story. I was having issues with my cognitive, speech, and short-term memory. So all of a sudden this, you're on Facebook or whatever, this Twitter thing happened. And I think it was like 2009 or 8. And it was 2009, sorry, because I know exactly when I was injured. 2009. And it was very therapeutic to get my ideas out there and just send it, right? So I know about the draft and I know about the Bears. So I'm going to just share that. And it was so therapeutic, right? So I started meeting other Bears fans. I thought it was just like another thing. You follow these Schefters and news and you just get news. But it was bigger than that. So then I started doing it and I started developing a following as I was breaking down the draft. And there was this guy, he was Teddy the Haitian. I can't remember remember him? Haitian Teddy?
Yeah.
So he started calling me Draft Dr. Phil because I was breaking down the draft and everything I was saying, all my rankings, like, Derrick Henry will be the best back in this draft. Those things were coming to fruition. They were coming to fruition, right? So he just started calling me that. And then that's how Draft Dr. Phil was born. I hated it. I'm like, oh God, I don't want to be associated with Dr. Phil from Oprah. Yeah. But then it kind of stuck. So everybody started calling me, and then people were shortening it to DDP. And I didn't know about the wrestler Diamond Dallas Page and this, but it all fit together. Yeah. Greg Braggs actually started calling me DDP, and then other people were offended that I was called notorious DDP, like I was stealing from cultures, and shakes her head. It's like, are we that dumb and naive? Like, it's me. I stand for integrity. And listen, we all make mistakes. I made mistakes on Twitter, and I've never gone back to Twitter ever. It became an addiction, and it really was taking a toll on my life, and I was doing stupid shit with it. And Draft Dr. Phil moved on to Instagram and Facebook, and that's where I stay.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to Twitter. I got Twitter to DM Shayne. So that's pretty much it for me.
You're part of my world then. Do you follow me on Instagram?
I don't know yet.
Oh, that's disappointing, Cars. You got to admit.
I think
show, yes.
I think the Instagram's also an old man's game.
You gotta lie.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
fucking say yeah, dude.
I thought you loved
I can't lie.
It's all good. If you have an Instagram or Facebook, I want to make sure we send you out a Keepin It 100 t-shirt. I owe my other boy Deloach one of those as well. I haven't forgotten you. I was sick very badly for almost a week. I feel 100 times better tonight, and then even better after talking with Olin. But last question, go ahead.
Well, first, I'll definitely follow you after the show. And then last is, do you come up with, like, I know Leno's not with the Bears anymore, but walrus and patty cake. I mean, where do you get that? Is that just on the fly? Because I feel like that's something that you would just say when you're describing it. I'm like, oh, that works perfectly.
Well, that's the funny thing. Like, Blog Boys, I just said that on the fly. And now people are using that as their podcast. And those are the types of things, like, give a tip of the hat and recognition. It's 100% what I've done my whole life. My former players could come on this show. I would give people nicknames and say shit while I'm watching the tape, just off the top of my head, to make players laugh. Because in life, even now more so than ever, if we're not laughing, we're not living. And that's really ultimately where everybody, every culture, every political stance you have can be crossed in this game of football, because we all have to come together. So the best way we learn is when we make mistakes as human beings. So all of that, Speed Bump Charlie, the walrus technique, I would say that to my players when they're flopping on the ground. I'm like, look at this wall, and it would just joke with them. And, you know, half the time I don't even know some of the stuff that just sticks, and it becomes what it is. It's who I am. I mean, it's part of my, you know, upbringing as a young kid, loving breakdancing and hip hop music, and then becoming a rapper and having a music deal and doing that. That's how I rolled. So that's where the nicknames and that kind of creativity and the spur of the moment, that's what separates this network from everybody else as well, because Shayne and I play off of you. I know he's not here tonight, but we play off one. He's more analytical and deep in his thought, and he will just absolutely destroy somebody, destroy you in the heart. Me, I will rip and just expose you and make you be uncomfortable in the moment off the top of my head. And sometimes, you know, I've heard when I don't know what the rule is, Cars, you would probably know, but when you hear something more than a certain number of times, like, yo, this show, this network, your tape breakdown, your music, whatever it is from TTNL has saved my life, or makes me better, or has carried me through the drive, or has helped my marriage, has helped my relationship, has helped me in the hospital, I was sick. You hear it so many times, I feel like I have a responsibility. I know Shayne feels the same way, that I got to be on point. I got to be prepared. And I am always going to stay within this persona and never try to be anything else.
Yeah, the music and the intros of your stuff, or just in general, You don't see that anywhere else. Like if you go to like some random, like the Patriots, some show like this for the Patriots, they're not going to be rapping at the beginning of the podcast or something like that.
Well, that's
They're
a
gonna be
credit.
crying to their misfortune that they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year and the devastation that their 7-year fans have.
Spoiled brats here.
I agree with everything.
No, I appreciate that, Jake, because, you know, one of the big steps here, obviously, Shayne, way back when we were on the old network, was pushing me to get back to your roots of hip hop. That you were a rapper, forgot you're opening up for fucking De La Soul. Go do some of that stuff. And I started doing the parodies, and obviously some of those songs I loved at the old network that I miss, you know, Bears 100 Proof and Last Call, and these songs that I came up with and created, they're gone now. So we moved on, and we've obviously keeping it 100. You get trolls like, how long is this intro? We are never going to change. That song, Keeping It 100, gets you amped up. Like, we're in the back room. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know me and Shayne have talked about this, and he'll be the first one to tell you. Okay, the intro happens, and then we're keeping it 100. And then you're like, okay, now it's go time. We're going to get ready. Is Claudio going to hit his mark? Never. But we're still going to have fun. And it sets the tone. It makes the TTNL original. And like you coming on tonight, I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, do you want to wait till you're back healthy, Shayne? Because you met this guy. You want to have him. But, you know, everything is off the script, right in the moment, just like my questions with Olin off the top of my head. Like, you obviously go into it with things you want to talk about, but you never know how a guest is going to react, and then something will hit you. And just like Bears Hour Live, you know, that hit me when I heard the guitar. It's like, boom, how does it hit you? Then you go with it. Then adding, I would be remiss if I didn't say this, adding Cool Kennedy to this, and really, like, Barlissimo and Cool Kennedy have helped me because I was doing everything. And I would always say this, and I would come off as arrogant, and Greg was getting all nervous because how's Shayne going to take that? But it was like, no, do you realize how much it takes to write, produce, sing, then produce, edit, break down the film, get ready, do a live show that's 4 hours, then do another one, go for BHL, watch the tape, be informed, don't go in front of everyone talking like you don't know. This shit is not easy. That's why when you see someone saying, hey, I truly appreciate this, or shout out to Cool Kennedy, shout out to Phil, like Fire Nagy song, or Blog Boys, or Leno Is Gone, all these songs that we've done are in between all of the other work that's going on. So it takes a lot of time. And Cool Kennedy is exactly what his name is. He's most mellow, cool, complete brother, like a friend. I would do anything for that guy because I believe, you know, how God puts people in your life and they become family. I believe that 100%. Like, some of these fans have a more special place in my heart only because they've been more vulnerable to me. They've shared with me. So I like to share back. Obviously, the running joke is that I talk all the time. I talk over everybody. But if you really do the math, there's a lot more talking from other people than myself. But again, it's the fun of the joke. I would never have left a show on this network. On the old network, one day we will do a patron show and I will tell all. It'll be a tell-all. But on this network, I've never once left and said, does that guy like me? Is there anger? Is there, you know, on this network, I could say one time we had drama that we were all up late with. Everybody would know. But other than that,
not sure. Don't.
You shouldn't be watching the show. You shouldn't be watching the show if you don't like the show.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be amazed that it's been the most fascinating part. Is like every time, you know, like getting negative, weird comments, like 3.5 hours in, you're like, you really that miserable? You stayed on this far, listened this much, and now you're gonna come get us? Boy, you really owned us on that one. Nice work. It's pretty interesting.
After the Steelers game, it was either this or the Chicago conference, the press conference, and some Steelers fan was like, "Bears are a poverty franchise." I'm like, do you know how much that ref was getting paid? I mean, he had to.
Oh yeah,
there had to be something there.
His wife was returned to him an hour and a half after the game, and nobody's gonna say anything about it, right? Like that's
exactly.
That's horrible.
I will never forget that game because I know. Because let me just say this real quick, Jake. In all my years, I've always had the referee aspect affecting my life all the way back to high school, where there was 2 inverted whistles on back-to-back weeks that cost us a state championship. We were 9-2. We should have been 11-0. And inverted whistles affected our undefeated season. And at 9-2, it kept us on. So I've always earmarked the official when nerds or blog boys or people that have never suited up. And this isn't a shot at anybody saying, well, I don't want to hear the excuses. The officials are bad everywhere. This is that. But that's not my point. It's each game, almost like Madden. You know what I'm saying? Every game of Madden is going to be different. The Bears versus the same team. You could keep playing. Every game is going to be different. That's what the game of football is. So if it's not officiated to the letter in fairness, there is an advantage that is going to happen. And when you have a coach and a team that needs everything to be perfect and you're giving another team advantages, that creates my frustration. Because I know this game of football, I know that game would have went different had that taunting penalty, aside from all the other penalties, had changed. And especially the James Daniels, that 4 point
that was horrible.
That swings the whole game. And trust me, momentum in football, don't ever get it twisted. Don't be a fool. J-Lo said, don't be fooled by the rocks that I got. Don't be a fool by the flags that we got. That's the truth right there.
Yeah, the thing that bothered me the most after the blocking one was, how does that ref not like take anything for that? I mean, he's clearly running into Marsh at that end of the play. And
the fact that the NFL doubled down and said,
how are we shocked? I mean, look, there's a whole investigation that went into the sexual abuse and harassment of all the cheerleaders in Washington. They got all of these emails, all of these things did. You know what came out? John Gruden, who went at Goodell, said some bad words and he got canned for it. And look, I don't agree with it, but the NFL is only after one thing. It's its best interest. They suspended Tom Brady for using a deflated football longer than they've suspended guys for beating their wives, right?
Or have lied about COVID.
Or have lied about COVID. Yeah, tuck his shirt. I mean, there are certain people, positions, players, Pittsburgh gets that look because of their championships and what they've done. Green Bay gets those things. If the NFL just came out and kind of said that, like the NBA really did years ago, like for the Jordan rules and the special fouls, it'd be a lot better. But all they care about is protecting the image. So they're never going to do the right thing when it would come at the expense of making the league look bad.
Well, that goes to the point of the former officials coming back, cars, and saying, oh yeah, it's the opposite of what the officials now are. It's like, it's unfortunate because I don't even have an analogy, because the product, the game is so great. And the league is like that perfect pizza place that you go to, but they've raised the prices so much, but you got to go to get that taste. That's where the NFL is. They can't do the right thing here. Officials should be hired full time and thus treated exactly like an employee, that if they're not doing their job and they're not living up to the standard and rules of calling a game fairly, then they are terminated for this kind of discrepancy in the game. It's just so sad. So
you have
sad.
you have visibility into fines and why these players were fined and what infractions they have, and you're very open about that. Yeah, but you're never open about the referees that call the things, right? Like
exactly,
the players are accountable, the teams are not, the refs are, and that's the NFL.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb should not be getting fined more than Aaron Rodgers. I think for not tucking your jersey. Come on, that's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Well, it is what it is, right, Coach? That's right. Stand by.
We
your
gotta ask Roger why. We gotta find out the whys.
We gotta ask the whys. The whys. Well, Jake Rieger, do you have any other questions before I let you go?
No, that was great. The expectation was 10 minutes. I think this was like 30 or 40 or something like that. So it's amazing.
That's about what we normally happens. This will take 5 minutes, and then 7 hours later, we're like, all right. Thanks,
yeah, I knew it was going to go longer than 10 minutes, but I feel like if I had like an uncle or something that I was going to interview, it would just be painful. Asking him questions. I don't really know the guys.
We're gonna have to have you back on to let everybody know. The 100 crew is gonna want to know. I know Cherie is going to want to know what your grade was.
She's tough.
Yeah?
My teacher is very tough. Yeah, she's...
Oh, what's her name?
Frazier. That's her last name. She's pretty... Yeah.
Miss Frazier, I'm going to ask you. Listen, look out for this guy.
We'll find her on social media. Don't
did a
worry.
Great job. Look at his background alone.
Yes.
His background. He came
Set it up
prepared.
just for this. Yep.
I don't know how Shayne will feel about that sign back there.
Oh, Cherie.
Thank goodness. Who's Shayne again? Who's Shayne?
Miss Frazier better. Yeah, Shayne, if you're just tuning in, Shayne is under the weather. Nope. Yes, he is, Phil. He's under the weather. And he is taking the night off tonight. He will be back. Bears Hour Live will be live right after Ravens Bears this Sunday. We're going to get into all of that. Just finishing up with our guy, Jake Rieger. You tell Miss Frazier I said hello. Tell your boys.
Got it.
Become Bears fans. And I appreciate you coming on. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll get your address.
I will.
We'll get that out to you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I appreciate you guys letting me come on. This is awesome. This is cool.
What grade were you in again?
I'm a junior.
Junior.
11th grade. No. Yes. 11th.
Yeah.
I was right. 11th.
You doubted
grade.
yourself for
I
a
did.
split second. What have you learned?
I hope Miss Frazier ain't as tough as Tony Vegas. That's all right. No, I guarantee
close.
Frazier's not throwing inverted flags all over the place. She's just holding you accountable. What's your favorite show right now? You stream it real quick. You streaming?
I don't know. I mean, The Tape Never Lies. That's just my favorite one by far that you make in general. I mean, that thing.
Look at this guy giving promos. Look at that. There you go.
It just no, your post game shows. I mean, I had a question for Shayne too. What's it like following your rant up? Because I remember you guys were arguing about Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet like kind of pokes at the ball and drops a touchdown, and you're screaming about it. And he's like, "Well, I actually don't think he dropped it. I think he was getting held." And you're like, "He's poking at it."
Have you ever seen Happy Gilmore, Jake?
Yes. Yeah.
You know that part where he's got to go to your happy place?
Yeah.
When Phil is ranting, that's where Shayne is, right? Like he's not aware of what's going on. He's watching something else in his mind, and that's what's happening during that. And then he notices a bit of silence, and then he's like, okay, this is when I need to jump back in.
I mean, it makes losing a lot easier, having someone to laugh at when they're just screaming at Cole Kmet usually. Not even
Hey, Cole had a great game last
He did, yeah.
So people are stepping up. We'll see if it continues.
I'm with you completely on Horsted, though. I think he should be starting.
I want to see more Jasper. That's Cars' favorite player. Jasper.
Tight end
Listen,
Jesus himself.
Can you film Miss Frazier for us?
I can.
Okay, so
do a little bit.
So I want Miss Frazier to send TTNL a tape, a little synopsis of how you did.
We'll need a breakdown. We'll need her to break down the
I want
interview.
her,
Yeah.
Bob Loblaw,
I'm
saying
saying
A plus.
so,
I'm
yeah.
giving you A pluses.
I'm glad.
Tonight was a lot of fun having you come on. Is Miss Frazier?
No, definitely not.
No, don't. I gotta teach
I
you
wouldn't
something.
lie, definitely
Don't
not.
don't give away Miss Frazier. Miss Frazier might be watching. It
No,
could
no,
affect your
I
grade.
didn't tell her the channel. I
She
said,
might go
"Phil."
back and watch. Miss Frazier, he did not mean. He was just embarrassed.
I was joking.
Yes, there you go.
All a joke.
All right, Jake. You have a great time. Not Jake
You
from
too.
State Farm. Jake Rieger. I got it right. And I hopefully you do very well. And maybe we'll bring you back so you can
Appreciate
talk to Shayne. Get his.
Yeah, I'd love to.
He's in Peoria, Illinois. I said Illinois correctly. And I still put ketchup on my hot dog.
Oh,
And there you go. All right, Jake. God bless you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Jake Rieger. Chris, he did a good job there, Jake did.
Fine young lad. Fine young lad he is.
Chris works closely with teenagers, so he would be a good judge of that.
Smoke weed every day.
We missed this guy tonight. No cut it out. That makes cars happy, right?
that's my favorite sketch.
Oh, bring that fat ass over here. I wanna get it in my mouth. I wanna get it in my mouth. Oh, I wanna suck on your fat ass. Oh, gotta suck on that ass, baby. I gotta suck on that ass, yo. I'm talking, yo. I wanna spread the ass apart, get my.
Good point. Stop. Perfect.
All right. Listen, are you guys ready for our
doing the read?
sponsor here? Manscaped. It's football season, baby. I don't know if you figured that out. You know what that means, though? It means we're going for two here with sponsors today. Manscaped. They're blitzing through hairs. Has never been easier. And it's time for you to join the 2 million men, Jackle. I know two of them, Claudio and Shayne, aren't here, worldwide, who trust Manscaped by using the code SHYCITY. What is the code again? I don't want to mess this code up, Jackle. Where is it?
Shy City Sports.
Shy City Sports. There it is. Shy City Sports. Thank you. You get 20% off. Free shipping. It's 3 and out the window with all of the trimmers now. Go tame that Wildcat offense. The world is starting to open up, and the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is here to help you get ready. Inside, you'll find the brand new Lawnmower 4.0. I have it. The Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer. I got it. The Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Cherie. I got it. The Crop Reviver toner. Got it. Plus 2 free gifts. I gave them to Angelo, though. The Performance Boxers and the Shed travel bag. Listen. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code ShyCitySports at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping at Manscaped. Use Shy City Sports. Stiff arm your pubes. Out for the playoffs. It's Manscaped. Manscaped. This next segment is brought to you by Manscaped. We're going to look at the first half of the season. Who was the good? Who was the bad?
Philatogen, Shayne Marsaw, the Tape Never Lies Network.
A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up.
That's it. Bear up, bear down this week. I'm shortening the song. Shayne would have been happy.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, bear up, bear down. We're going to look at, if you're a first-time listener, you're listening on the podcast, or you're watching, you could be a troll picking your nose. I don't know. Let's get some wipes for that keyboard, trolls. Bear up is the positive. Bear down is the negative. We always go down. We're going to look at the first half of this season. We are on the bye week, so we're going to look at who was your most disappointing player during the first half of the season. Bear down. Cherie, we start with you. Who do you got?
Even though he did have he's starting to come along the last game, it's just been, if we're looking at just the first half of the season, I have to say Cole Kmet. It's like every game he has like a signature critical drop. So it's just been so disappointing that, you know, I feel like he hasn't lived up to it just yet. I'm not calling him
excellent get off.
He's got great get off, but no, great.
So, yeah, just for the first half of the season, like I say, last game he did seem to start coming along, but looking at the first half as a total, I would have to say Kmet.
I love
big plays
it.
are nice.
What do you have?
They're good.
They
So
are
Cole
good.
Kmet is my bear down.
Bear down for the first half of the season. Cole Kmet. Cars, you on board with that? Jackle?
It's tough for me because he's done so much blocking, right? Like, yes, he's been, but them kind of keeping him more of a fixture in line and helping to block is in part what set the running game off for me a little bit. But he's not where I want him to be. So in that lens, it makes, you know, I wanted 3 more games like Pittsburgh, not just 1. So yeah, I think that the drops are concerning a little bit.
Let's throw curls. That's right. Running a lot of curls, blocking a lot. So, but I'm with Cherie. I think it's a good one, and hopefully Cole Kmet builds off this. Yeah, the arrow goes up. Good job, Cherie. Mr. Jackle from One Up Fantasy, as well as produces Bears Hour Live and Keeping It 100. The busy guy for the network. We appreciate you, Chris. I know you're starting to do shit.
Just a little
Ryan
bit.
and Matt are men of character. They are both, like Ted, outstanding leaders.
Yes. So is Chris Jackle. I'll tell you that.
Shit, is this live?
Like hope Ted, your friends and family were watching. That's it. That's the only moment.
Hopefully Jake's still watching.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
This is great. Here we go, Jackal.
I want to take the easy way. I want to take the easy way out. I want to say Sean Desai on the defensive side of the ball. Just I feel like he's let us down, but I'm actually gonna take the low hanging fruit and go Allen Robinson. I expect way too much out of him going into the season, playing for that bag. You need that money. Clearly, I mean, we can talk about chemistry with Justin Fields not getting his reps, you know, playing with the ones in the preseason. But if you're that good, I feel that your skill set should separate you to some extent where you are showing your worth. He hasn't done that this year. See ya. You're going to go to another team and probably do well. But we're going to bring in the weapon that, like Olin talked about, we need somebody to make plays. Allen's not the guy. We need to bring him in next year. So Allen Robinson is my bear down.
I love it. You guys in the chat could play along. I'm going to say this. Totally agree. I thought Olin knocked it out of the park. I thought you knocking it out of the park here. Allen Robinson has been a huge disappointment. If no one selected him, I would have selected him as well. You're paying this guy big money, Cars. And we don't know if they're scheming, because it seems like they don't scheme very well. They just call plays. This is going to be a big, huge game coming off the bye to see how they scheme. How did they self-scout? All of that. Is Allen Robinson now, after making that big catch, Cars, bringing it down to the 16-yard line, does he take a step forward like we want the arrow pointing up for Cole? Does he do it? I've seen him on tape just loafing, not giving maximum effort. Not running his route at full speed, not doing the scramble drill. And I wanted to ask Olin, Cars, one thing I'm going to ask you. Do you think it's Justin Fields' natural leadership ability that he's continuously saying, yeah, Darnell Mooney stays with me, working hard after practice, and Darnell Mooney is showing me how to watch tape because he's watching more tape. So I'm like, do I need to watch more tape? Is he purposely doing that to show that Allen isn't doing those things with him?
Oh, absolutely. Right. I mean, you don't, to your point, you don't kind of point those things out, especially with what what we've seen in the past from Brandon Parker talking about, only 3 targets during a whole game on a game we win. Right. Mm-hmm. I think he realizes who wants to be there long term and who doesn't. And so he's going to make sure that the young guys get that call out. So I would agree with that.
I think this is the first showcase of a fucking leader at quarterback that we've had maybe since Jim Harbaugh calling out players, or Eric Kramer kind of admitted he didn't do that. So when are we getting someone that will do it? As much as I love Kramer, I was kind of shocked by that, but I guess he didn't have to because those players actually stepped up, right, guard? When you look at it, so that could be another point.
It's an interesting time in football. Like I'm sure a lot of us have seen it, and it's not going to come across like picking fun of generations, but like older folks were way more confident in themselves. There was more of this sense of self and how they define themselves and what they want to do. As folks are coming up, like you see a lot more of look, I know it's a basketball reference, right? But you see a lot of the Ben Simmons stuff out there, a guy who just needs to work on his jump shot to be great, and instead just wants everybody to tell him they're great. Like you need someone that is going to demand this more now than you used to. And certain players, part of the reason Brady was able to draw the names that he was because they know he works himself and holds others accountable. Most of these guys, most of these quarterbacks can't do that. They lack it. So it's really interesting to watch how that happens.
Yeah, I haven't seen this, and it really is. That's why I asked you, because you much. I mean, no offense to you, Shayne even more so is very analytical in those little things. I mean, you as well for years have caught these things too. I don't want to disrespect.
No, you're fine. No, it's weird, right? Because we have to understand.
We haven't seen it.
Never. I mean,
he says more than the coach says. Right?
It really does. But it's in a way that's good. If your head coach doesn't sound like freaking Tommy Boy trying to repeat, I could stick my head up a bull's ass, but I could take the butcher's word for it, and he keeps fucking it up. That's what our coach is doing, and it's the first year kid, who's sitting there who supposedly wasn't intelligent, just long thought out answers on the spot, telling you everything you want to know. It is everything that he's that level of leader already, and he's that confident in himself.
Right.
And he puts in the work. Like these are the things that are building in the right direction. So it's so weird. I would love to never have to listen to another Matt Nagy press conference. Just put Justin up there every time, and the rest of us would be okay.
We're going to be covering this saga. I'm calling it Lord of the Rings. How many movies were there? Was there 3 or 4?
Never seen one.
3.
Fuck. But they did come back with the troll?
Like the prequels.
The prequels, the Hobbits.
The Hobbits.
This is the only reason I'm on this show.
They're making a show. Did you see that? I'm excited about that show.
Well, there are prequel books that he wrote. So yeah, there are. It's.
Now, what year did this guy write? Like, is this like 18?
I will say the last couple of days with our team, we've become really close. And, for us to become as close as we have the last 24, 48 hours, I just trust and believe in them.
Jackle's our coach right there.
What the hell just happened?
I have no idea what that was.
Jackle, you haven't seen any of the Lord of the Rings.
I think I read The Hobbit as a kid. Like I think
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that was about it.
This guy's imagination, real quick, in 1800 or whatever. It might be 1700.
No, he was born in the late 1800s. He did all of his writing early 1900s.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, anyway, we'll nerd out on that on another show.
Wait till my podcast on nerdly topics. And
on Tuesday following.
We're gonna have TTNL. I'm building a show, but I won't say anything. Anyway, Cars, your bear down.
I'm glad Jackle switched because for me it is Sean Desai.
There you go.
There you go.
You know, especially with you looked at the way the season started with that Rams game, it has not really approached that ever since. From really questionable and odd nickel decisions, like you're inactive 1 week and then you're the starting nickel the next. Really, really conservative play calling. You know, when we watched that last game, he had a 0 blitz that didn't get home, and then he just kind of stopped blitzing and he allowed them to do things. You know, again, I understand it's his first season and I want him to get better, but there's way too much talent on that defense to be doing what they're doing. And so Sean Desai is my bear down.
It's a really good one. I honestly think in that Steeler game, he had an opportunity with an immobile quarterback that's prone to do stupid shit.
With a weak arm. I mean, like, it was 30 seconds, it felt like, for him to get a 10-yard pass out to somebody. It was insane.
I was like, just blitz Roquan here. Man up. Instead, he's fucking dropping Robert Quinn into coverage. Yeah. Oh, my God. Again. All right. You did a good job there. I can go on for another 40 minutes on Desai, but that'll be a pop-up show on the patron side. If you're not a patron, www.thetapeneverlies.com. I forgot to ask Jakey from State Farm Reader if he was a patron. We gotta see if that can happen. Anyway, we got someone who'll pay his patron. I have a guy that's willing to pay someone's patron. If you're not a patron, reach out to me. If you really want to be one and can't afford it. Times are tough. Although there is another stimulus coming. I know gas prices are fucking high as shit.
Oh my!
Anyway, you don't have to worry. You just plug in.
Let's not go down that road.
No, my wife's grandmother is in California, and she just sent the receipt picture. And
my God!
It was $4.95 a gallon.
$4.95?
Oh yeah,
Cali.
Jesus, I was at $3.39. I'm like, motherfucker, that $50 and. I wasn't even on empty. I was on like a little under a quarter, like just hit the quarter.
I had
like $50 to fucking fill this motherfucking Sonata.
I had to put gas in a car the other day because I took my wife's, and of course, like most wives, and I was like, I had no idea where the gas tank was. I had no idea what side of the car it was on. It was really.
You had to actually use the steering wheel.
I know.
I had to pay attention. I mean,
I had to like keep my foot on the brake. It's really, really, it's really sad for me.
Your fucking balls fell out of your pants finally. You know, you were a man for once driving a car. It was good.
No.
Sorry, Cherie.
Puberty's a long way away for me still. I figure I'll hit it sometime in around 2078. So,
Ken, reach out to me on Instagram right there at Phil_Toshin. I'll hook you up with somebody who's reached out to me. Is like, listen, this network is too good. The patron side is so amazing. I'd be willing to pay for someone's patronage. So I'm just passing. What is it? What is that?
Paying it forward.
Paying it forward. Thank you, Jackle. You beat Cherie in the trivia contest tonight. You win.
It's all those leather-bound books behind him
Chris
that
Jackle.
he's been reading.
We've been waiting for the Jackal hats to come out. Alex Acevedo's like, don't hold your breath on Jackal.
There are books here, you know.
I like that you pulled that from the side and not behind you. That was well done. That was really well done.
Same book I think I pulled last time.
My
For 2
Bear
years, you've
down.
pulled the one book. I'm sure you've got a few pictures left to color.
It's a good one.
My bear down is Eddie Jackson. It's just, well, you should expect this, Phil. No, I expect you to be the highest paid safety and play determined with determination and pride. All I've seen is lip service and excuses from the head coach to Sean Desai, Cars's boy for bear down. Not Cars's boy for bear down, which he's right. I've seen excuses given for this guy. I've seen complete, utter showcase of let's put Gibson out there for the presser, not him when his feet need to be held to the fire, when he missed 3 tackles in the open field and they go for a touchdown. I don't see Eddie standing in front of the podium answering questions. That's a disappointment. You've been a disappointment not being able to make the turnovers, be in the right position, or be a leader of a young secondary that needed one. So
especially
Eddie Jackson,
with Vildor and Shelley and all those guys. That's a great point.
You would think this guy would step up and be prideful in your job to showcase that to the younger players and protect them as they learn. It's been the other way around. Duke Shelley and Vildor at smaller players are tackling, putting their faces in there. And you're out there fucking hoping and praying someone else makes the tackle before you get there. You know, I was telling Shayne, I go, if you really go back, I said I would much rather have Adrian Amos than Eddie Jackson. And I took a lot of shit for that. And I said, why? Because he tackles. That's why. And I felt like the two of them together were perfect, and I would have made sure we stayed with that. But listen, what do I know? I just want Eddie. I just want Olin as the president. Go ahead.
So they talk about the Bears playing the Steelers and the Ravens being two real physical teams, right? What does it take for the Bears? I mean, and we talk about the culture, you know, and this defense used to be, that's what we were, the physicality. We used to just pound you and we would just, you know, we'd break you down, you know. Obviously things have changed. We bring in, you know, some offensive bullshit, whatever. Obviously that's not working. What's it going to take for this team to be considered one of those tough teams that you don't want to play again? It's not just the quarterback, right? I mean, is it, well, what do you think it's got to change?
Did everybody see Roquan Smith tackling Monday night, right? You saw a finisher.
Yeah.
It takes one man to challenge 10. And I've seen it happen many times. It's one guy.
You saw it happen on the offensive line.
Holy shit. This dude just fucking put his face in there. Now you've built a culture. Accountability is so important, Chris. That's why Cars is a $1 million Tesla driver and his point on Desai. Because if Desai decided to be the leader, we ain't fucking tolerating. Get Houston Carson in the fucking game.
Yep.
He's not the most physical guy, but he's going to be in the right place, the right time, and he's going to give maximum effort. He's the hardest working player, according to Roquan Smith, your future franchise, whatever they're going to do with him. That's a whole nother story. But Chris, it takes the coach to say, this is what we do. Like Olin said it. I know I put him in a spot and he hit it out of the park. And you got to be a leader of men. You got to let your guys know, I'm going to take the fine because I got your back. Desai decided to kowtow. Like, oh, yeah, that's unacceptable. Those tackles no, make it unacceptable in the game. Yeah. I could never be a DC up in the booth. My most trusted guy is up in the booth talking to me. Coach, they're coming out in trips every time to the left. We can't continue to do this. We got to go. Perfect. Thank you. Timeout. I'm bringing the guys over to me. Get your fucking ass in the game. They go into trips. Man up. Man up. We're going to call zebra call. Blitz the fucking backside. Whatever it is. You have to be involved in the game. And I just don't see it with Desai. He's gotta applaud these fucking physical plays. There's a reason why there's all these penalties, Chris.
Yeah.
It's because guys are trying to find their feet and where they are, but there's no culture, there's no accountability on defense to this is who we are. And then when you remove your best defensive player in Khalil Mack, then you see what happens.
Yeah.
But look at what happened to the offensive line when Peters came in and he started to make those extra hits, right? Like he started to offensively, he really started to make some changes and some you started to see like Daniels get a little bit more physical. Not that he wasn't to begin with. He added Borum. Like one guy can make a difference. It'd be ideal if that was from the top guy, right? Your head coach. But the problem, part of Pace's biggest issue is he hasn't done that so well on the offensive side. The defensive guys, between Hicks and Mack, they're going to try. For whatever reason, it doesn't work on Eddie. But you need kind of multiple guys, and we've kind of struggled to get that mentality. We draft on traits, on physical traits, and not mental.
You heard Olin say it. I don't know if you heard it at the very end, but he's like, yeah, I need a few of those fucking guys that are going to say, I'm going to punch this motherfucker in the face. We had Kyle Long that had that. We had Urlacher. We had Mike Brown. We had Olin. We had Roberto Garza.
Big Cat Williams was scared of Olin. So don't ever confuse like it's got to be a 6'7", 350-pound guy. It just has to be someone who's like, I want to hurt you. For the next 60 minutes, I'm going to hurt you every opportunity I get within the rules of the game. Good luck. Because that's what made Philadelphia so good under Peterson. That offensive line was so physical,
oh my God,
so angry.
Kelsey and the boys.
Mauling, Kelsey,
if you
Brooks.
play physical, you play physical.
Peters.
I would always say, you got 60 minutes to give your fucking heart and soul. And after... it goes back to the great George Halas. He said it right. He's over here on my shoulder there. See?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right there. His bobblehead. And I got to thank my boy Christopher Price for sending me that bobblehead from Pennsylvania. George Halas one. He said it. No one who ever gave their best lived to regret it. It's the great line. It's the truth. Yeah. You give your best during that game. That's what we do. That's why you lift all those fucking weights. That's why you do all that practicing to get to the game and be reckless. Reckless. You play with reckless abandon. Instead, we don't ask whys. I don't want fucking whys. You're telling me the answers. I know every guy who's a fucking pussy and who is not. I already know. So they don't play. You got to be maniacal. And if Roquan Smith was crying after that game, like Northside said, and that's the report, I know he stood up better than the coach did. Somebody on the team. There's a reason why the Ravens were so good. Ray Lewis was a fucking leader, right? There was a reason why Bart Scott could say what the fuck he wanted. He backed it up. He played hard. Those teams have beat the fuck out of the Bears because nobody is going to rise up and say, this is who we are. We're on a 4-year plan on offense, completely confused of what a head coach, what his job really is. And that's to be a leader of men and to define there's no tolerance. There's zero tolerance for being selfish. There's zero tolerance for us ever losing in fundamentals and effort. I see it every week on the tape. I show everybody on this network. There's loafing. There's fundamentals missed. There's confusion. There's no identity in year 4. Come on.
And it's
up. Go ahead.
Sorry. It's super weird. Like if I look at the Ravens, right? Like what is missing from this Ravens team from over? They don't have that guy that's going to be smash mouth, go mess you up, right? Yonda was that guy for a long time. Yeah. Orlando Brown on the defensive side. They've got, Judon, all these other guys that are gone now.
Yep.
Harbaugh normally tries to instill that, but it kind of shows when you start drafting for traits of physical, when you're looking at all these athletic numbers, there's reasons that guys like Zach Thomas that, excel in this league without those. You have to get guys that are maniacal, not about their 40 time and their Instagram pictures and all that shit. Look at how I'm look at me after my post workout and all that shit. No, you need someone who at the end of the game is going to be exhausted, left everything on the field, no matter the size, no matter what. And we don't have enough of those guys. We got a lot of nice guys. A lot of guys you want to have date your daughters kind of thing, right?
Cool.
But that's
right.
where it ends.
It starts at
guys
the top.
bringing weights to training camp and shit.
Yeah.
It starts at the top, as PJ saying, and it also starts with the administration. And I know that's been said, but it really does, because if you can't go out there as a coach and say, you know what Pete Carroll did, I put it up there. We got bamboozled tonight. If you can't do that, you send the wrong message to the locker room.
Yes.
Like Justin Fields is asking the official, why does Big Ben get the flag and not me? No, that should be you, coach. That certainly would have been me if I was the head coach. I'm telling you, I would have got thrown out of that game, or gotten a flag. But everybody in that fucking sideline, everybody in the stadium, and everybody else, even Steeler fans were like, wow, you guys are getting fucked over. Yeah. Everybody would know. It ain't going to be on my watch. I'm calling this shit out. Let the fucking commissioner find me. How about fucking fire these motherfuckers?
Yeah. That's what ended up hurting Cam. It took until Rivera was there for them to start calling out the bullshit hits that Cam Newton was taking. Right?
Exactly.
But by that time, was it 5-6 years of these things had started to pile up already? You don't win awards for being nice to the referees, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're going to fine you, they're going to do whatever. But if you want to do this job, sometimes you have to be like, that was the worst officiated game I've ever seen in my entire life. And it was only one-sided. You'll pay a $50,000 fine. You're making $5+ million a year. Do it because that's what you're supposed to do as a leader.
Thank you.
Pete Carroll, oldest coach in the NFL, went after the officials. He's like, I got my team's back, and they're going to respond well when they go out and play.
He learned a lot from that in that college run. That's why he wasn't that guy early. That USC run of being for the players really worked.
I mean, he was handing out bags of cash and shit, but whatever.
Real quick, I know I talk about it, but I am a competitive motherfucker. But I learned you have to be in the official's ear right away. That's bullshit. Coach, I'm warning you. I don't give a shit. Warn me again. There was a bullshit call. I'm coaching these kids to win and to play hard. Okay, coach. And you know what? Maybe the next time you know what? That resonated, that echoed in his head, and he makes the fucking right call. You have to be on top of that as a coach. Those are the little things. You can't be here in your playbook. You can't. You know the fucking plays. You listen to the plays calling in, okay, and you're watching the fucking game and the effort. If Allen Robinson's not blocking, or Bird, or why the fuck is Damiere Byrd being the fucking cutoff block on a zone play? If these things are going down on your watch, you have to be the leader of men and say, no, that can't happen. Don't ever fucking call that play with Damiere Byrd blocking a 290-pound end. It's ridiculous. Anyway.
Philatogen, Shayne Marsaw, the Tape Never Lies Network.
A bear up, a bear down.
Bear up now. Bear up now. I'll start us off. We'll go back. We snake back. My bear up is going to be a guy that took a lot of shit based on his salary and everything. But I showed you on the tape that not only was he playing hurt, but he also was playing and getting held and what have you. How do people respond? Do they look in the mirror and say, I got to be better? Well, this guy did, and he's made a lot of blog boys look stupid. obviously my guy, I'm not going to give it to him, Thunder Girl. I got to shout out Robert Quinn. Now, Robert Quinn has played his ass off on the run, rush. We got another sack on Big Ben. He's doing things out there, stopping the run, doing the little things when he's not being asked to cover a tight end on 3rd and fucking 14, which is stupidity. But
I don't understand why you wouldn't pay that guy $20 million a year to go drop into zone coverage on an important 3rd down. It just seems logical.
Well, my guy, Robert Quinn, has taken the keyboard and the keyboard tough guys and thrown them out in the street. He's done a tremendous job. And if you only would watch the tape and recognize the kind of things that he's doing, bends and sacks and stuffing these double teams and just giving fits to the offensive line and doing everything in his power. He's taken so much heat. Obviously, I would love to give it to my boy David Montgomery because he's unbelievable, but I just think Robert Quinn deserves a lot more praise than he's getting, especially what he went through last season and now where he's at right now. So, Robert Quinn, you are my bear up. My bear up. Anybody?
You can't disagree with that.
No, he's been pretty good. He's been solid.
There you go. Cherie's giving it a thumbs up. Cars, your bear up.
Well, I'm going to take the easy one, and for me, it's Justin Fields.
There
I mean,
you go.
He's like, you're going to get to go 4th and be able to get Justin Fields. Come on now.
Apparently, you've missed when I'm on the show. You forgot the rule. They always leave Justin Fields for me.
That's just like if Claudio was sitting right there, I would have chosen Mooney. I want you to know that 100%.
Just take Mooney and take Claudio's spot. Sure.
Yeah, it's exactly. Listen,
take Mooney.
It was for me. I know it didn't start the way he wanted, and I think we've seen a lot more. But if you look at what he's done kind of the last couple of weeks and the trajectory that he's on and the way that he is calling things out already at the line of scrimmage, right? He's switching plays because he recognizes what's going on. I mean, I'll be honest, if he wasn't on this football team right now, I don't know that I'd be watching this team play offense. Right, he is the main reason that I want to watch them because of what he's doing and how excited for him I am. So Justin Fields is my bear up.
Listen, I can't argue with that. It's unfortunate, Cars, that our head coach didn't have the presence of mind to say, wow, we got a real one. Let's tell Andy that we are going to do everything in our power to find out who really is going to be the best for the Bears.
Yep.
That was the biggest ball drop ever. And then the second ball drop is if you're going to run with Andy Dalton as a head coach, if you're giving 15 plays to a starting quarterback, then you better damn well turn it into 10. We're going to give you 10 plays. We're going to give Justin 5 because you're going to be prepared in knowing that this is, but there is no preparedness with Nagy. I'm sorry, Olin. I've already decided I would fire him. Doesn't even matter what he's going through or anything. I just don't see the preparedness. I don't see the leadership. I don't see the plan. I don't see an identity. So they say nervous. 3 strikes, you're out. I'm giving you 4. Justin has been nervous, man. I mean, last week's game, Cars, finally seeing thread down the seam twice. And then probably I said on the show, I switched back and forth 8 years, 15 years. I've not seen a throw like that throw to Jimmy Graham.
And where was it in the field, Phil, exactly? In the middle?
Yeah. Right in the middle of the field.
It only took us so many weeks to figure out, hey, we've got tight ends. And there's this area between hash marks that the ball can vertically fly to.
Oh, my God.
And it's legal to catch it. I had no idea.
You have all that speed on the outside.
It drives me insane. All I would do, listen, you talking to me, okay, under center, We're going 3-step. I got 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and David Montgomery in the backfield. I'm keeping 1 tight end in pre-snap. It's going to be a call. You check with me. Green, green. Left tight end is staying in. Red, red, red. Right tight end staying in. Montgomery's listened to the call because if he says green, 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 the left tight end staying in, he blocks to the right side. That means the right tight end's running through the seam. 2 outside guys are running fades, right? So now it's a 3-man go. You got full maximum protect, 3-step drop, 1, 2, 3. You heard the call. Decide fade or tight end in the seam. You put everybody. I could go down the fucking field with this. We could just do check with me at the line. Go no huddle. Green, green, green. Red, red, red. It doesn't matter. They don't know. And then we run the ball. So there's a little coach's classroom football talk. Gets me so. It's like how long? You got Jasper Horsted, Jimmy Graham, Cole Kmet, Jesse James. All 4 of these guys could get into the seams and into the secondary. We're not doing it until this past week. So basic football, it doesn't have to be complex. And that's the problem with this shoe salesman. It's like I just showed you right there. 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, 1 back, check with me, reading it, Justin learning, everything would be covered. It's simple. Doesn't have to be this hard, but we'll see what they do. Anyway, great showcase, great choice. I think Justin obviously has shown what the real deal is that he is. And I felt like Cars, it felt like he didn't feel any kind of pressure. He just was being him now.
He is so happy to be on a football field. Like every time, no matter what the score is, like that's a guy who loves the game, right? Like I don't have to read body language. This isn't going to be the Jay Cutler, like, let's analyze the shrug thing. The guy's just happy to be here. No moment is too big for him. He's built for this, right? Like the certain other quarterbacks, if they had that start in that Cleveland game, it's game over. Not for him. It's so refreshing. We don't have a mental midget at the most important position, and you know that's everything.
It is everything, and it's a great choice. And as PJ's saying, I'm seeing it too. You see him growing every week. Chris Jackle, your bear up.
Olin Kreutz made me do it. I'm going to stay on the offensive line. My bear up is going to be Larry Borum, stepping up. You know,
wow.
Had the expectations weren't necessarily as high going into the season. Obviously, they were there, being drafted as a rookie, and he was going to get some time. Jenkins was getting all the love for obvious reasons. Deal with an injury. He steps up and played very well. Been graded high. Performance, though, with the eye test is there. Battled back from a high ankle sprain and has really done well since he's come back. I just think this is what we want to see, setting a tone for younger rookies in this. You want guys like this, in my opinion, that are going to play hurt, just like Olin Kreutz was talking about. A high ankle sprain, that's not a 2-3 week injury. That could last all season. And he's out here beating the fuck out of guys out on the defensive line, they're, coming at him. And he's my bear up. I'm so happy we drafted him. And getting Jenkins back is now just gravy, in my opinion. And hopefully he can, catch up to speed with Peters and the rest of the boys and have a good foundation. Look at the Browns. They just locked up 2 young offensive linemen. I think the Bears are trying to, not saying copy that, but that's a good model to follow.
I hope they do. I like your choice. I pause on his bear up only to address David. I don't know, Dave. Are you talking about Justin Fields?
I think so.
David's his emotions were showing bad during the blowout games. Looked disinterested. I will say the complete utter opposite. I will say it looked of frustration and letdown. I think Cars is 100% in recognizing this kid's life force is the football field. So you have to understand the game of football to recognize the difference between I don't give a fuck and what the fuck. Those are two different things. Yeah. So when you have someone who's driving the Titanic into an iceberg, you got 5 engineers saying, what the fuck are you doing? Aren't you paying? Right?
Well,
those guys aren't remembered.
He's lost more games this year than he has probably in his entire football career.
He's never lost 4 games in a row. Never.
Well, and think about it too, right? At what age did he dream about being an NFL quarterback?
Changed his mind. I love
right?
it.
Like when he if he's smiling and happy, like think about it. If he was 12 years old and he decided that he wanted to be an NFL quarterback, this guy worked his ass off for 10 years or 12 years or 14 years to get to this moment. Like sometimes you got to smile and enjoy the journey because, and kind of when you get to the destination, even if it's not what you thought, because your hard work got you somewhere and then knowing that you're going to go. So if he's 6, he's worked for 16 years to get here. It's ridiculous. He's going to be happy and let's go. Like he just wants to win. I don't doubt that for a second.
I think David admitted he was talking. Sorry, slam donkey. He slammed the wrong donkey there. He admitted. I appreciate David taking ownership and saying, you know what, you're right. That's where perspective is. That's what this show is about. Listen, I'd be the first one saying, look at this motherfucker laughing on the sideline. I've seen Bears players down 30 laughing on the side. That's not a fucking good look. The optics of it alone are shitty, especially to a fan base that has been kicked, beaten, and completely withheld from any kind of elite quarterback play since Eric Kramer. So listen, I can't express it enough. Tonight is a showcase of truth. And last point, Olin bringing the truth to he's the reason why I don't need someone who's done it before with Ernie Accorsi rules. I need someone that knows what they're doing, not someone who's done this before and they failed. John Fox, Ryan Pace is an unknown. They've never done it. Let's take a chance. All that shit doesn't add up to the character and measure of the man. Tonight, Olin brought that. Chris Jackle, Larry Borum, just 2 games back, giving him cars.
I'll allow it.
You're allowing it?
He's important.
He's such an important piece for this. He and Jenkins and Daniels at least are super important for.
You gotta re-sign James Dan. He's more important than fucking Allen Robinson or Roquan, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show. James Daniels is a priority. He's that good.
Yeah.
And Olin's line about you can watch a movie on his ass is great. Cherie, you're the last one and you're bare up.
So disappointed, Carl. Oh,
you're not the only woman to have ever told me that, so don't worry about it.
You hear that in about 35 minutes.
I am.
Bring that fat ass over here. I want to get it in my mouth. I want to get it in my mouth. Oh, I want to suck on your fat ass. Gotta suck on that ass.
Ryan and Matt are men of character.
He for sure does not want to. No.
Ryan and Matt are men of great character. Cherie knocking it out of the park. I think Cars' wife actually loved that moment. Just she's a big fan of that song and Rebel.
She is a huge Rebel fan, that's for sure.
Cherie.
So I am going to actually go with Claudio's boy.
Twist invention here is called the Cobb Quickie. Hands down.
Claudio.
Who?
Oh, this is Claudio the Barber. Yo, this is Claudio the Barber. Yo.
You see how he leans in?
Yo.
Shoulders and all. He's doing more tackling than Eddie Jackson on the yo.
He's got to get a Fitbit for this show because all these revolutions are going to be like thousands of calories.
Yo. Yo, Claudio's boy. He'll be back next week too. Go ahead, Cherie.
But yes, I am going with him. And honestly, I'm gonna tell y'all the connection is to Fields, because hearing that he stayed, like even when Fields wasn't getting first team reps, the fact that Mooney stayed and worked with him so they can build that rapport. Like for me, that tells me the character of him, how hard he's willing to work, and he be out there blocking.
Yes,
as well as catching. So I do have to show Mooney some love. So Mooney is my bear up.
That's a great call.
Yes, Darnell Mooney's blocking alone.
Yeah.
Effort. Listen, I respect. There's certain things about character that come across when you've played the game or you've coached it or anything. If you love the game, you can even see it. Darnell Mooney gives a shit. That's half the battle there. Now he's fucking talented as hell and is given effort in blocking and running his routes, making big catches. He has his own personal accountability. He's craving a head coach that's going to hold others accountable in his standard. Imagine being a sophomore in high school and you have to hold yourself at a higher standard than the surrounding players. That's what Vildor and Johnson are dealing with on the other side. I'm telling you right now, there's no fucking way this team is a 3-win team.
No.
Only because of coaching are they there. I'm just telling you. And Darnell Mooney would be a fucking superstar if they understood how to fucking use and scheme him. You think Cooper Kupp's good? I can help Darnell Mooney be that. It just takes an understanding each and every week that you're going to make it a priority. Darnell Mooney, again, everything you want in a receiver. And it goes back to that one quote, last point, to benefit Cherie and Claudio's love. Darnell Mooney said, it doesn't matter. If I touch it, I got to catch it. Right there. Sign me the fuck up for that guy. Because I've never heard that since Tom Waddle. I have not heard one receiver come to Mushin Muhammad. None of them. You say that shit, you got something special. And I remember Wayne Corbett saying that shit. I touch it, I better fucking catch it. And I competed with that fucker every day at practice. I beat his ass in catching competitions. He'll tell you that when he comes on this show. I took a lot of pride in catching the football. This guy is an elite athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Darnell Mooney could be, the sky's the limit there, but he has played tremendous football. And hopefully he carries that over into Sunday, which is our great segue.
What?
Yeah, our great segue for our next segment.
I mean, if I'm going to root for a team, I want to give it all I got.
Next play. Pass.
There was no rhyme or reason.
Drove down the field. Mr. Montgomery breaks a huge run. If he scores on the run, you don't got to worry. But you do got to worry because he gets tackled at the freaking 15.
There was no rhyme or
Next play, shotgun.
The tape never lies.
Bold prediction. What's your prediction?
What's your prediction? The old line is playing shitty. What's the skinny? No identity. If Nagy can't find it, there's a secret with the enemy. Red zone opportunity. Once again, they gotta settle for 3. The reality of coaching when the defense has to carry the team. Prediction. What you think would happen versus what does. A light year from the Super Bowl and now we're losing buzz. Nagy has no answers, just predictions that don't change. The segment is the truth. Give it by the guys and feeling shamed.
What's your
prediction, that bold prediction.
The tape never lies.
Bold
It never
prediction.
does.
What's your prediction?
Bold prediction, guys. Our bold prediction. We always start with Cherie. And she's not happy. So I'll switch you over here so we can go around this way. Cherie, what's wrong? You don't want to go first?
And I have no hope for this.
There's no hope?
I know, Gary.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.
I know, Gary. Don't be disappointed in me, but I have very little against.
What are the whys?
What's up, Cherie? No hope.
No.
All right, let's hear what you got here.
Talk to us.
I say the score is going to be Ravens 30-17. I can't, I feel like my bold prediction, I want to say something positive, but I can't, because I honestly think they're going to come out shit in the bed like they do after every bye week.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, my bold prediction is going to be for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson go run for 140 yards.
140. Jackle, write that down.
That's a bold.
Lamar Jackson, 140. What did she? 33-17 or 30-17. Cars. You're up next.
So you have my same exact score, 30-17.
Wow.
Ravens is what I'm expecting because, as you say, we are horrible after the bye. And I feel like some of those points are going to be kind of more garbage time points at the end. For the bold prediction, I guess it's not bold since I predicted it in the past, but I predict that that'll be a game that gets Matt Nagy fired. So
here it is. Let's go, Cars.
Listen.
Bring that fat ass over here. I want to get it in my mouth. I want to get it in my mouth. Oh, I want to suck on your fat ass.
I will just run that on repeat. Cars had a chair turn.
That was great. Well done, Cars.
How are we gonna do this? No, I don't need some Bears blog sources telling me, but I just kind of get the sense that everybody's over it. There's enough bad news, and embarrassment in a game like that. I'm just gonna call that. That's my prediction.
Well, Courtney Holmes is laughing and loving it, as is the rest of the chat. My boy Brandon Livingston. Brandon always keeps it 100, defending TTNL to all the trolls and phonies. I love Brandon. Shouting you out live, Brandon. Keep it up. I love when people just stand up for the truth, like Cars just did. If that happens, we will have to play that on repeat there.
I will be so happy.
Mark Rebele. We'll go live on that.
I will sing that song live on air.
Please, God. I pray to the Lord of football gods. I want you to play along with your predictions right in the chat. Keep it coming if your prediction. I want to make sure. I love those people. I said it. Well, predict it. Yeah. Predict it now. Look at Max Allen, 24-28 Chicago. Aren't you supposed to put it the other way, Max? Come on. 28-24 Bears win. Oh, he fixed it.
He did. Good.
Bears win 27-24. Cool Kennedy. I was talking about you before. I hope you heard it. Sweet nothings in your ear. Live on TTNL. Jason Onstad, 30-27. Cairo for the win. Mike V.
That's my guy.
33-28. 33-28. Avon, loving the music, Avon, right? 30-17 Bears. We're seeing a lot of Bears. 24-21. Cameron Beige. Gonna shout you out during shout outs, Cam. Alexander Fackless, always supporting us here. 30-17. Lamar runs wild. Isn't that your predicted score?
It was 2, yeah, Shuri and
Two
Cars.
of them. This 30-17.
got my poll prediction.
That freaking rolls out that number. You better ask somebody. One other bolt, Justin Tucker from 55. Early, you're killing me. It's late and you're killing me early. Campbell getting 3 sacks. Fubo TV.
Hey,
Brandon.
subscribe to them.
65.
Friday is still
This
there.
ain't
Wow.
happening. Ryan Cheek, you're tongue in cheek right here.
Ryan, what I need to know what dispensary you're hitting. 'Cause I'm not going to the right one. Please message me on Twitter where are you going?
27-17. They'll keep coming in. Jackle, what do you got?
Ravens come into Chicago, beat the Bears 35-21. Justin Fields has his first 300-yard passing game. And Cars is, coming from your perspective, a lot of garbage points. Same thing with the yards. He's just going to have to throw the ball at the end there. 35-21, Ravens. Fields, 300 yards.
35-21 Ravens.
Yes.
There you go. Avon, how much Justin Fields, you said? Over 300?
I said
passing?
300. Yeah.
So this will be his first 300 passing, right?
Correct.
He hit, what was he, 296 against the Steelers? Surprised Nagy didn't know and run a fucking bubble screen.
Well, he didn't want him to be at 286 yards at that point.
That's
so
true. That's true. This is a tough game. Coming off a bye, the Bears have been 0-3 under Matt Nagy. So I think that trend continues. I pray that Mr. Matthew Carston is correct in his bold prediction. I might be the happiest guy on the East Coast if that happens. A new direction. Start early. Get this
that's
going.
the key.
That is the key. Get yourself going. Put this team in someone else's hands for the time being and find the maniacal new head coach that sees this 300-plus passer and the talent of Justin Fields. And appropriately, as Olin, if you look at and watch that, hopefully if you're just tuning in, you go back and check out the Olin Kreutz interview, maybe one of the best all time here, truly pulling back layers of football and why Matt Nagy has issues from the one point of running zone when you're trying to run something else, having to adjust and really not doing these things that are about you. It's really great stuff. And we watched tape live, right, Jackle?
Yes.
With Olin. That
was awesome.
Fun. And we're going to get him on the patron side. I've already texted him. We're going to get him on to break down tape. Probably be in the off season. I'm just speaking. Maybe it'll be sooner, but
that'd be awesome.
I know his son plays at Illinois. He also has another son in high school playing football. So Saturdays are tough for him. So if we do it in the off season with a look back at the offensive line and how the new coaching staff should use him, it might be so much fun with Olin because he's such a great person and so knowledgeable. Anyway, my prediction coming off 0-3, I have no confidence in this coach. I've told you this team has more talent. Have we heard if Khalil Mack is going to be back? That's going to have something to say. I believe he will be back.
Yeah, not. That's the scary part. Still
not practicing. Wow. No. Well, today was a walkthrough.
Yeah.
Couldn't even walk through.
He was listed as a did not participate today.
Wow.
Allen Robinson, too.
Well, listen, I'm going to go 28-17 17 Ravens. And the Chicago Bears, my bold prediction is David Montgomery, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns from David Montgomery in this game. Coming back, Soldier Field, running with pride. So 133, Chris.
Got it.
2 touchdowns, 28-17 Raven. I just don't believe in Coach Nagy. And he's had, as I was saying to Olin, he's had 3 years of 4 losses in a row. He's got 1 year of 6 in a row that they've tried to champion. This will be loss number 5, Cars. So is Cars right? Honestly, this is something coming off a bye. You've lost 4 times. If it happens, if they lose, everybody on this panel is going to be surprised. Some of you in the chat have picked the Bears to win. Just stay with your pick. We'll be live on Bears Hour Live right after the game.
Idea to hand the play calling over to Bill Lazor.
Loses the football. Strip sack.
Bears Hour Live. Bears Hour Live. We go online right after Bears games with your boys draft and the smartest man alive. Bears Hour Live. Bears Hour Live. We go online right after Bears games.
Yes, right after Bears games, Bears Hour Live, immediately after Ravens versus Bears this Sunday. We will be live, me, Shayne, and other surprises. We also will be live on Thanksgiving, Cars. Thanksgiving. We're also going to have Chris Zorich on that show. Former Bear, Thanksgiving Day, coming on BHL, watching me rant and joining the crew. So that'll be a lot of fun. What are you thankful for? All of it. I hope there's hope.
There's hope, guys.
We'll see this Sunday.
I mean, if I'm going to root for a team, I want to give it all I got.
Next play. Pass. Pass.
Shout out Tape Never Lies. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. From the fans in the stands to the follows on the gram. Thanks for your support, showing love in the DM. We stay Spencer strong, fight together till the end. Now it's time to shout out worldwide friends and fam.
The network that keeps it real, 100 crew. So many in the world that I gotta show love to. For some this policy the show is at its end, but for me it's so important to thank the charter members and the fans. Built the network, speak the truth through the tape. Never run around the truth, no narratives we create. Set them straight, no bubble screen on 4th and 8. Audio Shayne getting nervous cause keeping them up too late. That's it, no more to say that get the shot of vital. But hurry up cause the postman's getting homicidal.
Shout out.
SPENCERSTRONG.
I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too.
The network that keeps it real. SPENCERSTRONG.
Well, there's no Shayne tonight, so this should be a lot shorter because I know he loves to shout everybody out.
Yeah, he takes an hour in a day. Oh, man.
Cherie, we always start with the ladies first. Ladies first. Do you have a shout out?
I have more of a PSA. Public service announcement.
What did I do
Wear
this time?
condoms.
No, I've been kind of I've been MIA for the past week or so because like Shayne had mentioned last week, I was dealing with family issues. My brother had a stroke and he's 46 years old. So still fairly young, but it was due to high blood pressure. So, and it was something that if he'd been going to the doctor regularly, they could have caught it. He could have been on medication. It's possible this wouldn't have happened. But that's why I'm asking you all to please take care of yourself. Go to the doctor, have a relationship with your doctor, and be honest. If something doesn't feel right, get it taken care of. If you're worried about your job, it'll be there. If something happens to you, the job announcement will be out the next day. So you have to take care of yourself first. Go to the doctor, get checked, make sure everything is working in order. You have to take care of yourself. So I'm asking everyone to just please take care of yourself. Any things that can be prevented, please get those things taken care of. So
well said. And I think you hit a point that needs to be re-emphasized. Your job is going to replace you like you didn't even exist. So don't even worry about that. That's one thing. I'm 48, so 46 hits home for me. I was nervous when I was dealing with this issue I was having because it felt like right in my heart. And you never know. So, yeah. Fuck the job for the day. Make sure you check yourself out.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty of work when you're healthy. So really, really believe in that. 100%, Cherie. And I'm so happy to hear that he's doing better. And prayers up for you.
He's talking mess, even though he can't fully talk yet. But he's still trying to be bossy and get smart with us. So love you, Carlos. Shout out to you. Be strong. We got a long journey to get through, but just please, everyone, get checked out.
Beautifully said. PSA from Cherie. If your name was Cherie, it would have been a PSA from Cherie. Anyway,
is that how that would have worked?
Yes.
Really?
The English language, some motherfucker.
Do you have a shout out?
Yeah, I will send a shout out to my wife. We celebrated our anniversary last night.
Nice.
As you can tell from the show, I am not necessarily the easiest of people to deal with on a daily basis, especially when you make the mistake of procreating with me and have two mini me's that also run around and basically give you the same hard time. So I know she's already passed out because it is past 9 p.m. But Steph, thank you very much for dealing with me, and you now win to be my longest marriage. So I might be doing something right this second time around.
Oh, bring that fat ass over here. I wanna get it in my mouth. I wanna get it in my mouth. Oh.
That's what was going down last night. That's why you were
making baby cars.
No. Oh, good God. No.
You weren't watching the One Up podcast. You were just one up.
Can only imagine the smells coming out of that thing, but
That is both the perfect and worst drop, all in one.
Oh, you gotta.
Oh, I had a few last
3 hours, 38-minute show, and we break down football, life, vulnerability, advice, compassion, and happy anniversary to you and your wife. Seriously, you're an asset here, not an ass hat like some of these troll boys.
I'm both. I am both. That's okay.
And I love the fact that you could be vulnerable as well as dry and funny, and you're just a great human being. And that's, surround yourself with good people. You are one of those guys. So
I appreciate that.
I haven't had the pleasure to meet your wife.
But I can't say that on anything that gets recorded. So
it is recorded. But We finally met, so it was such a pleasure to meet you. Hopefully
Yes.
next time I'll be able to meet your wife. I know people want updates on Eric Kramer in cars. That didn't go down. Kramer's coming on to confront you on this, and he'll
As
be
he
on.
should. As he should.
He's gonna be on. I don't know if he's coming on next week. I will promote that on BHL, but he's definitely coming on because we have to figure out the schedule because the Bears are playing Thursday. My daughter in Connecticut, Wallingford, we started Powder Puff in the world in Connecticut, in our hometown of Angelo, Wallingford, Connecticut.
I was just about to say, yeah, the home of one Angelo.
That's where I grew up. So
Sure, he's looking.
We started. Yes! There you go. He's back. We started Powder Puff, and that's where the girls play flag football, senior girls versus the rival high schools the day before Thanksgiving. My daughter, Sunshine, is going to be playing punt returner and tight end. And so we're going to be out there, and a lot of stuff is going down, obviously, Thanksgiving. So be paying attention. It might be a Tuesday night, keeping it 100. So One Up Fantasy will have to move to another night maybe, and we'll figure it all out. You'll be completely notified, and BHL will be after Thanksgiving game. So I just want to give everyone a heads up, all the 100 crew. Everything's going down Thanksgiving. So we'll keep you posted, yada, yada, yada. Chris Jackle, shout out.
First, Shuri, again, T's and P's to your bro. I'm glad things are going, long recovery. Godspeed on that. Cars, congratulations on the nuptials or the renewing of those and spending your anniversary with the lady last night.
God,
hopefully you walked okay this morning.
God, she fucked up. I mean, it is. I mean, there are mistakes, and then there's.
Sure, you're bow-legged this morning, Cars, but it's okay.
Bring that fat ass over here.
Sorry, I got lost there for a minute. Where are we?
I'm just doing a quick.
Let's build on it, bro.
Well done.
Mr. Marsaw, I hope you feel better. I'm thinking of you. You got a lot going on at home, but also I'm going to leave Cam, to you, Phil, as you're going to speak on him. Just thinking of Cam, wants you to get better and healthy. And the rest of you folks out there, I say this every week. Reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a while. You never know what they're going through. Say hello, shoot them a text, phone call, email, smoke signal, whatever it is. Just let them know you're thinking about them because you have no fucking clue what other people are going through in this world. It's not always about yourself. So think about others, say hello, and, tell them you care about them or thinking about them, and be a good motherfucker. So love you guys. Take care, and go ahead, Phil.
No, we're very economical, my family.
Yeah, we are very economical.
I love his laugh at the end.
I can't tell you how many nightmares because of seeing him with my cardboard face. I have, and every single one of them has that laugh as he's chasing me, and while he's riding the little dirt bike and the cigarettes coming out of his mouth, like that giggle haunts me in my dreams now.
What?
Exactly.
We are trying to set up an update with Angelo. We're working on it, but we'll see. That's got to happen. Maybe over the holidays, he'll be in good cheer and he'll be back economically.
Nope.
I hope he will. We'll see. Tonight, I got a list of shout outs, but it starts with Cameron Beige. I know he's been in the chat, and TTNL goes beyond, just the show. It ends, and that's it. We always try to communicate and be a part of something. We always ask, and we can always see who is real, as Brandon saying, real recognizes real, 100%. Cameron, I know you've had COVID. You're in the critical care unit in some hospital somewhere. I don't have that. It's in Texas.
I believe
so. He's in Texas. just throw some prayers Cameron's way, 100 crew. Everyone here is thinking of you. I know Shayne meant to say something. This is more than football network. It's football family. That's a quote from Cameron himself, as Logan saying it. My thoughts and prayers are to with everybody. I always say, listen, this is just how I am, and I'm wired this way. Getting the vaccine isn't political. It's a health thing. That's from me, a doctor on TV. I'm telling you.
Oh, fuck.
Just, it is, some people have taken negative stances and whatever, and you never want to be the person that's in a situation like Cameron is. My son is 7 years old and he had COVID. It is not fun. It's scary. There's so many unknowns. There's no conspiracies here. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. It's my truth. Let's not put this into politics. Do your research. 100%.
Doctor.
Talk to your doctor. Talk to the pediatrician. Do that stuff. But at the end of the day, let's not put this on a party of politics, because that ain't the truth. That ain't the truth. Anyway, that's
Phil,
my
can
little.
I just piggyback that?
Oh, go ahead.
Do you mind? Just,
Not at
because
all.
you speak about speaking your truth. And I think, on the other side of that too is like people make their decisions, let alone, and they have to live with them, right? Unfortunately, and so, but you shouldn't crucify somebody necessarily if it's not impacting you. Let's let people make their decision. I'm not speaking on COVID, just in general. There's so much vitriol out there. People need to just fucking get along a little more out these days. And this COVID situation is fucking horrible, regardless of what side you sit on. My wife's best friend lost 3 of her family members: her father, her aunt, and her brother-in-law. 2 of them were, vaccinated. The other gentleman wasn't. And he was a much younger guy and lost his battle. And I just think what you need to do your own research, make a decision what's in your best interest for your family, and go from there. I'm just, I want to see everyone do well in life and not have to suffer. And so
I'm with you. And Cameron is a witness to that. He's physically fit. And like he said, nobody's invincible here. It's going on. Their quarterback's getting it in the NFL. You know the story. So just be careful. Do this part. Do your research, but don't be fooled like J-Lo by the rocks anyone's got. Just do it. Now, that being said, Joe Tashiny, who's reached out to me, this guy, I want to shout him out. True Blue fan. Eugene Coach. I always fuck it up, Eugene. I want to shout out you and your wife who had a birthday. Alex Acevedo, the swag man, shouting you out. Happy birthday to Alex Acevedo. Can't say nothing but positive things about that guy. I got to meet him. Claudio's better looking brother, some people may say. Jason Onstad. I'm asking everybody. Jason's in the chat. Jason is traveling down to North Carolina. His father has terminal cancer. I can't think of a worse ride to drive to know that chapter or your story. I don't know their relationship, but the reality of what it is you're dealing with. I know this show means so much to you, but God bless your dad and you and everything that's going on. I don't even know how to even put that, but this is family. And there's good things that happen and there's unbelievably bad things that happen. And my father would always say, put God in your life. I agree with that. I do believe that. And Jason, to your dad and to you, I say all my best. Steph Froyland, he's on the NIC unit tonight, getting ready for the baby. So shouting, is that how you say it? NICU?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That, never mind. Go ahead.
Steph
Sorry.
Froyland, 100 crew. He's going getting ready. Couldn't be in the show tonight. He's getting ready on the other end. You know, life is funny like that. You can't pick your family. You can pick your friends, and you can pick the things that you like to watch, like Jake does. Not from State Farm, but Jake Rieger, who was on tonight. I want to shout him out. Matt Powell. Now, everybody who reached out to me and sent me a Fire Nagy video. I asked you guys, send me some fucking videos. And you guys came through. We're going to end the show with that. And I want to shout out everybody that did that. RDP, Tony Benefor, the comedian, Kevin Carlson, Heather and Chris Sandlin, Ivan Vargas, Bullets, Eugene Coach, Cock, whatever, Robert Shy Bears, Ryan Cox, Bearlissimo, Chris Jackle, Jeff Crooms, Jack Elliott, Jesse Beltran, Jim Larison, Kevin Wood, Chris Bowditch, Mike McKell Williams. Let me get that right. Larry Funkster Jones, baby. Ooh, yes. Fire Nagy. I love Larry. Jamari Riddick, Christopher Price, the big fullback from David Smith, Trent Emery, the cameraman. We need more pics. I'm waiting for this video, Trent. So is Cherie and Steph. They want to see pics. Steph Froyland, Levon D. Lane III, Sal Hamani, Maurice Anton, Tim Madison, Matt Powell, and I think that is everyone. The Chambers family. Much love to all of you guys. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I know I could drag it out for another 40 minutes if I wanted to, and Cars would lose his mind. He's good. And Cars, you can bounce because I know you got to go. I'm going to play the Fire Nagy from the fans, all of you that I just shouted out that were involved in this. Thank you so much for putting in a little bit of your time to send a message to the Bears organization and really to hopefully Cars' bold prediction comes true this time. The second time's a charm. And
just like my marriage, second time's a charm.
Same here, bro. Same here. For Cherie.
Shit, don't say that again. I'm only on number one, man. Come on.
Lady Bear 83. Chris Jackle. Follow these guys on Twitter. And for Bears Nerd, Cars, Matt Karstensen, a.k.a. Bring that fat ass over here.
I will record myself singing that song 100%.
Oh my God. I'm going to be so happy if this happens. And from me, God bless you, Shayne. I didn't shout you out.
Get better, Shayne.
Get better.
Stop being such a wuss.
We'll see you guys on Sunday for Bears Hour Live. Hashtag it up. Share the show. Hit the motherfucking like button. Smash it. Be a friend. Tell a friend. And bring that fat ass over here and fire Nagy.
Fire Nagy.
Fire Nagy today.
Let's keep it 100 now. Fire Matt Nagy. Get that bum out of here and his play scheme. And while you're at it, take Ryan Pace with you.
Fire Nagy. Number 2, fire Nagy. Number 3, fire Nagy.
Fire Nagy now.
Fire Nagy now. We on our way to Pittsburgh, and we hope to win that game. Thank you, TTNL. Hope you post this, and y'all have a good one. Peace, love.
Fire Nagy.
For the love of everything George Hallis, can we please fire Matt Nagy?
Fire Nagy now.
Come on, Bears. Do the right thing. Fire Nagy now.
Fire Nagy.
Fire Nagy right now.
Come on, CDC. Nagy, no good for the Bears.
Fire Nagy.
Fire Nagy.
Fire Nagy.
Fire Nagy.
Chicago, please fire Nagy.
Fire Matt Nagy.
He's had 2 first-round quarterbacks.
Fire Matt Nagy. Now.
2 playoff runs.
Fire Matt Nagy.
Hasn't won a playoff game.
Fire Matt Nagy.
Had ruined one franchise quarterback. I don't want to see Fields ruined.
Fire Matt Nagy.
Fire Nagy now, motherfuckers.
By the way, Bears fans, let's get Nagy fired today. Or tomorrow. Fire this man. Been too long in mediocrity. Time for a change.
Fire Nagy.
Bear down. I want to save one. We got to fire Nagy now. Fire Nagy.
Fire Matt Nagy.
Fire Nagy. Do it now.
Fire Nagy. Right now. Fire Matt Nagy.
Fire Nagy. And do it now.
The proof is in the tape. The tape never lies. Fire Nagy.
Fire Nagy.
Get Matt Nagy up out of here, man. Fire Nagy. Fire Pace. Go ahead and send him an early Christmas present, which is a pink slip.
Fire that fuckhead Nagy.
Fire Nagy. And do it now.
Fire Matt Nagy.
Fire Nagy.
Fire Nagy now.
Yo, TTNL family, this is your boy Bullets. With a message for the collaboration crew. Fire Matt Nagy now. Because Lord knows I'm done with this guy.
Fire Nagy now.
Right now.
Now.
Fire Nagy now.
Yo, this is Mike off TTNL Network. Coming straight out of the region. Fire Matt Nagy. Fire him now. Hashtag sell the team. Bear down. Fire Nagy.
Hey, even my boy Charlie here agrees. It's time to fire Nagy now. Right, buddy?
Save the Charter franchise. Fire Nagy now. Take Pace and Phillips with you. Carpools shall be allowed.
We've got one thing to say. Fire Nagy. Fire Nagy.
Fire Nagy.
Fire Matt Nagy. Fire Matt Nagy. Woo! Bring it down. Fire Nagy. Fire Nagy. Fire Nagy. Matt Nagy. You're fired. Fire Nagy. Yeah.